Okay, it's officially recording. I'd like to call to order SFSS Council meeting at 4:39 p.m. Thank you kindly, everyone, for being here. Welcome to round two. We can start with the territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories. Now, let's get straight to roll call. We shall begin with, would we like me to share my screen like last time, where we can all see the agenda and stuff like that? Yeah, I'm getting thumbs up from people. There we go. We can begin with roll calls. Again, just like last time, you can give a quick intro for yourself inside the chat, or you can unmute yourself, all the same. Archaeology Student Society. Archaeology would not be here. Bachelor of Environmental Student Union. That is also going to be absent. Behavioral Neuroscience.
Hi everyone, my name is Arthi, pronouns are she, her, and for my accent needs, they're all met. I'll just have to leave at 6:30 today.
Are we sure they can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good to know. Okay, we'll keep going then. Do we have Biology Student Union Counselor? Biomedical Physiology and Kinesiology?
Hello, my name is Jovan, and all of my access needs have been met.
That's fine. Cognitive Science Student Association.
Hi, everyone. My name is Puvan. I'm the Cognitive Science Student Society counselor, and my pronouns are she, her.
Do we have Computing Science Student Society?
Hello, my name is Mabel. My pronouns are she, her. All my access needs are met.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh. Holy crap, I am an idiot. I had my laptop muted. My God. Mabel, I hear you. Thank you kindly. We're going to run this back really quickly. Archaeology Student Society, are you present? I can now confirm for sure you are not present. Bachelor of Environmental Student Union. Thank goodness. Behavioral Neuroscience.
Hi again everyone, my name is Arthi, pronouns are she, her, accent needs are all met. I'll just have to leave at 6:30 today and for the entire summer semester because I have a commitment after.
Thank you kindly, and apologies for not hearing you the first time. Biology Student Union. Okay. Biomedical Physiology.
Hello again, name is Jovan, he, him, all of my access needs have been met.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, now, Cognitive Science. Okay, we can confirm Cognitive Science will be absent. Criminology Student Association. Okay, Data Science Student Society.
Hi everyone, my name's Jennifer. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the Data Science Student Society Student Council Rep. All my access needs are met. Just one thing, I just noticed that my last name is spelled incorrectly. It's actually H-U-N-G, not H-U-A-N-G. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Earth Science Student Union. Hello, y'all. My name is Eden. All that. Thank you very much. Economics Student Society. Okay, posted in the chat. Thank you very much. Engineering Science.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tony, pronouns he, him, and I'm the Engineering Student Society Council member. All my access needs are met.
Yo, what's up, Tony? Environmental Science Student Union.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grayson Bark, he, him pronouns, and all my access needs are met.
Fantastic. Film Student Union. Oh, thank you. Film Student Union Sense and Regrets, Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies.
Hello there. My name is Ashley. Hi, my name is Ashley. My pronouns are they, she, V, and all my access needs are met for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have Geography Student Union? We do not. Do we have Health Science Undergraduate?
Hi everyone, my name is Ishika, pronouns she, her, and all my access needs have been met.
Thank you very much. History Student Union.
Hi, my name's Emilio. I'm here. All my needs are being met. Thank you.
That's great. Indigenous Studies? We do not have Indigenous Studies. Do we have Interactive Arts and Technology? We do not. Do we have International Studies, Student Association? Where were we? We are right here. Do we have Mechatronic Systems Engineering?
What's up, everyone? I'm Aiden. I'm the Mechatronic System Engineering Counselor, and all of my needs have been met.
Hello, Aiden. Thank you. Do you have Molecular Biology and Biochemistry? I'm afraid we do not. Do we have Philosophy Student Union?
Hi, my name's Nava. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. Philosophy. Do we have Political Science Student Union? Inside the chat, currently recovered. Oh, my condolences. I'll have the camera off. Understood. Thank you. Oh, do we have Psychology Student Union? In chat earlier. Psychology. Oh, it was in chat earlier. Understood. Got it.
She was in chat.
Do we have Science Undergraduate Society? We do not. Do we have?
No, we have.
We do. Thank you very much for that. Understood. Science Undergraduate. Do we have Society of Arts and Social Sciences? Fantastic. Thank you very much. Do we have Software Systems Student Society?
Hello everyone, my name is Lynn, pronouns she, her, and all my access needs are met today.
Hello. Thank you. Statistics and Actuarial Science?
Hello. My pronouns are she, her, and my access needs are met.
Got it. Sustainable Energy Engineering.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. My pronouns are he and him, and all my access needs are met.
Hello. Thank you. We move on to constituency group representatives. Do we have Disability and Neurodiversity Alliance? We do not. Do you have students of Caribbean African ancestry? Soka.
Yes, hi. My name is Yaye. My access needs are met and pronouns are she, her.
Fantastic. Thank you. Residents, do we have Residence Halls Association? Manuel is not here. Okay. Do we have Teach Support Staff Union? Oh, thank you, Catherine. No, we marked you down. No worries. Do we have SFPIRG? I'm afraid we do not. We can now move on to SFSS Exec Committee. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Liam Bang. Pronouns he, him, his. Access needs are just fine. Very glad to be here. Oh, hello, Emmanuel. Do we have VP internal? Yo, hello. Do we have VP finance?
Hi everyone, my name is Jad, VP Finance Services. Pronouns are he, him, his, and my access needs are met. Thank you very much.
Glad to have you, Jad. Do we have acting VP University? That should be fixed. It should just be VP University. Yep. I can confirm Thomas is physically present in the room with me. We can mark him down. VP External and Community Affairs.
Hi, my pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
In a special situation now where I'm sitting with just about most of the exec team at the moment, so I can personally confirm that Priyanka and Ayo are also present in the meeting with me. Okay, we can move on to society staff. Board organized. Oh no, we're skipping up board organized. Facilities manager. Oh, John is also really my bad. Temporary operations organizer.
Hi, Allison Do here, pronouns she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met.
Well, I do not know what just happened. Thank you, Cindy. Policy Research Community Affairs Coordinator. Do we have administrative assistant? Hello, Samar, and thank you. Okay, that concludes roll call. Thank you, everyone, kindly for your patience. We can move on to item 4, which would be the consent agenda. Be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. Seeking any discussion, first of all. And just as a reminder, amending items onto the agenda would be inside adoption of the agenda, which is item 5. Oh, yeah, I see you have a list.
I would just like to move to postpone the motion for the SoCo Wellness Retreat funding till next council meeting, as staff are still working on drafting a recommendation.
Oh, understood. Just out of formality, this would be done during adoption of the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much for the notice. Got it.
All right. Sorry. Thanks.
Okay. Anyway, I think this would conclude. Oh, my bad. Leah, do you have a list? Leonardo? Got it. So wait with patience. Fantastic. Now we can conclude discussion seeking unanimous consent. Fantastic. This carries fluidly, and now we go on to item 5, which would be adoption of the agenda. May I get a second? Priyanka. Equity seconds. Be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. I'd like to introduce discussion now. Do we have any discussion for? Whoa, oh man. Ashley got here first. Gender studies.
Yes, I would like to. Yes, I would like to move to postpone the presentation until next council meeting. There was a bit of a scheduling error, and that will be occurring in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. That will have to be noted down. For every single amendment inside. Yes. My dear goodness. I move. May I get a second?
Equity.
Equity seconds. Fantastic. Be it resolved to adopt the amendment. Is that right?
Yes.
Be it resolved to adopt the amendment, seeking unanimous consent. Fantastic. This goes on, and Leonardo, I see you have the next list. Leonardo brings in a motion. Whereas Council.
Yeah, we just have to, oops, sorry. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. We have to amend. Yeah, notice of motion for the thing that I tried to do, for changing council meetings.
That's right. I do remember talking about this. Got it. And this will also be introduced to a vote. May I get a second? Gender studies second. Be it resolved to adopt this amendment. I'm seeking unanimous consent. Fantastic. This will pass. Let's take a look at the next. Oh, Priyanka, you're the next list.
Yeah. Okay. I have two motions and one discussion in camera discussion item. The first is the equity sustainability committee election. Second one is for BIPOC election. And the last is in camera discussion titled issue policies.
Are you moving this as a batch?
I would like to move them as a batch.
Gender studies seconds.
Fantastic. Before you seconded, I moved. Oh, you moved.
And then Ashley second.
I completely forgot about that. Thank you very much. I've been moving things from the get-go. I'm seeking unanimous consent to amend these three, to adopt the amendment of these three items onto today's agenda. That's fantastic. These amendments have officially been adopted. I'm going to take a look at the next list would be. Adopt them as a batch. I would like to move on to Nancy's list. Oh, okay. Nancy would like to list after Ayo. Ayo, you have the next list. Go ahead.
Anyways, I want to. You shouldn't have to mute.
I am muted.
Someone isn't.
No, you're not. Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Okay. I just wanted to move to strike item 11.1, which was the increase of at-large membership for the Events and Student Affairs Committee.
Striking item 11.
11.1.
All right, understood. I'd like to second. Seeking unanimous consent to adopt this amendment. And just to be incredibly clear, striking would mean removing an item from the agenda completely for those councilors who may or may not be confused. All right, I will assume that this will carry unanimously. And I recall, Nancy, you are listing after Ayo.
2 seconds here.
He's typing something.
I just want to put for the External and Community Affairs Committee election, which is in chat here.
chair's election. Oh, this is the continuation of election. Got it. Understood. Very, very necessary. I second. Seeking unanimous consent. Adoption goes through. I will now look at the next list in line. There are many, many, many amendments to be made on the agenda today. Oh, Ashley, you have the, I'm assuming, last list.
Yes, I do. I would like to be moving two amendments to new business. Actually, no, that's not true. The first one actually is going as a notice of motion. I will post this in chat. The motion is titled Governance Composition. I would like to be amending this on to as a notice of motion. I would also like to be amending on a new business item, which is titled Vice Chair Election. Give me one.
Oh, could someone tell me if my mic is working well? I'm getting complaints that it sounds laggy quite a bit, which is not ideal if we're in a situation where we might have multiple execs speaking from my exact same laptop mic. Certainly not a vice chair. Be it resolved to elect an executive council as vice chair. Oh, I remember this one. Thank you very much. Got it. I will second that. Seeking unanimous consent for that. That will pass. And now we move on to Yaye's list, which I should have seen earlier. Go for it.
I apologize. I listed at the wrong time earlier, but I'm going to move to postpone the motion for the SoCo Wellness Retreat funding till next council meeting because staff are still working on drafting a recommendation.
Wait, I thought we had. Oh, right. I remember this one. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm assuming you move, then I would second, seeking unanimous consent. Okay, this will pass. Andrew Nathan, you have the next list.
Hi, I had it before the motion passed. If I may speak before the motion passes?
Oh, I am so sorry. Right.
Okay, could I move to table this motion so that the staff has enough time and this is running up on a next week deadline?
Would anyone else
So tabling would be to postpone until somebody brings it back.
Thank you. I'd say we would be voting on a postponement motion then. I could say, I'm assuming you move. Beg pardon. I'm asking for clarification on the process at the moment. Oh, I see. Andrew, there's a bit of a tricky thing with the policies at the moment. You are motioning to table the motion while we were already on the discussion of one. Now, tabling a motion that's entirely possible for this meeting, but we would be doing that. We would be moving to table this motion after this adoption of the amendment already passes. Is basically what I'm trying to say, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, that's a bit of a confusing situation, but I did list before you announced unanimous consent on the motion.
No, that's the problem. We'd have to do that.
Right.
So basically the solution here is either SOCA motion like passes and we postpone it, which was their original motion.
Yes.
And then afterwards Andrew can propose to table it, but at which point it's already been postponed. So there's no point.
He's often do something else. He's trying to postpone indefinitely.
Yes.
So we can't do that.
So he can, yeah, so we have to seek unanimous consent on SOCA's motion, amendment, sorry, first, and then go to Andrew.
So Andrew's motion is different from the original motion in the form that they're asking it to be moved to next week, and we have to consider that first. Then Andrew's motion, as he's listed after them, right, is a separate motion, entirely separate motion to postpone it indefinitely.
We seem to have a variety of different opinions on how the policy is going to go. I will cautiously acknowledge that I have ignored your list, and as a consequence of that, I think we can move Andrew's motion. If you move, I would like to second. Any other discussion on this? I really don't want to skip the list a second time. This is a good call. All right, then. If that's the case, then I'm seeking unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, this motion would pass for this adoption of the amendments. Thank you, Andrew. I want to take a look and see if I skipped any other lists inside the chats. I am assuming I've gotten them all. If I ran over anyone's lists, please notify me at the moment. No? Okay then. If that's the case, I believe that we would be good. Oh, thanks, Andrew. We were on the adoption of the agenda. Okay. Be it resolved to now adopt the agenda as amended, and we have made many amendments. Oh, some more puts in ratification of regrets. Ratifying regrets of various counselors. Oh, right. Forgot about that. Understood. I move. Would anyone like to second?
History.
I apologize, history. External seconds. Be it resolved to ratify the regrets of these various counselors. Samar has pasted into the chat for this meeting. Seeking unanimous consent, no dissent, this would pass. Thank you kindly. Okay, we now be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. I'm seeking unanimous consent to adopt all the amendments onto agenda. Okay, I'm seeing no dissent. This would pass unanimously. We can now move on to, presentation has been postponed. Is that right? Fantastic. All right. We can move on to number 8, which would be in-camera discussion items submitted by VP External. I move. May I get a second? Equity seconds. Be it resolved to go in camera for the remainder of the meeting. And just to clarify, in camera would mean that the recording gets shut off and that everything that we would be talking about inside in camera sections of the meeting would be entirely confidential. Okay. Be it resolved to go into camera for the remainder of the meeting. Seeking unanimous consent. Seeing none, this will carry. unanimously. I would like to stop my recording now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to X Camera. We have concluded the in-camera discussion. We're now going to move to the agenda items that are X camera for the rest of the meeting. You just give me a second here. Need to pull. White's quite lost at the moment. Okay. We are now on item 10, which would be old business. This is an event submitted by Events and Student Affairs Committee election. All right. We are returning to our elections from basically last meeting. Be it resolved. Hold on. I see comments inside the chat at the moment. Go X camera. It's my understanding that we are already X camera. It's recorded. No. And now the recording resumes. You really mentioned quorum count. Let's take a look at the quorum. About 37.
We have quorum.
We do? That's very pleasant to hear. Okay, then this means we're all set for continuing. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to X camera. We can resume the rest of the items that are X camera for the remainder of the meeting. Starting off with item 10, which will be old business, submitted by Events and Student Affairs Committee election. Be it resolved to elect councilors W, X, and Y to serve on the Events and Student Affairs Committee for the council terms 2023-2024. I completely forgot I was sharing my screen a second ago. Can everybody see what's on my end at the moment? I don't know how it looks to everyone. Is this good? Okay, great. We are on item 10 at the moment. Events and Student Affairs Committee election. I think we can begin or continue the elections process for this. Could someone remind me if there are people on the Events and Student Affairs Committee at the moment? And also who?
Hi, this is Ishika, Health Sciences Undergrad Student Union Counselor. I am on the Events Committee.
Thank you. Good to know. I'm gonna mark this down somewhere. I will. Oh, hold on. Ashley, you have the list?
Yes, I do. What is going on? Sorry. Could you give some context as to what is happening right now?
Oh, of course. First of all, we went X camera, so the recording resumes, and then we are going back to old business, which would be continuing the elections for the various committees whose positions haven't been completely full. Hold on, I want to clear something up with a few people, but Nancy, you have a list?
Yeah, I was just wondering if, like, I can join this committee, or is that like later? That's what I'm asking.
Events and Student Affairs?
Yes.
You can join. Absolutely. It's to my understanding, any council can join any committee. Oh, Ashley, you have a point of order?
Yeah, just a quick point of order. Has there been a mover and seconder for 10.1?
10.1? Yes, it has.
Okay, so then you move on to doing a call for nominations.
Okay. Emilio, you have a point of order as well.
I was gonna say call for nominations, sir, but we should be able to handle it.
Got it. Priyanka, your list. Priyanka, VP Equity.
Wait, did you call me?
Yes, you had a list earlier.
Yes, so one, if you've done the call for nominations, I'd like to nominate myself. Second, this is not the up-to-date agenda. It should be on the same email chain. I believe Somay sent a follow-up.
Whoa, this is not the right one. I'm just gonna stop. So I'm just gonna stop sharing them. Let me find the right one. All right. Sharing screen round 2. Can everybody see what I'm sharing at the moment?
Yes.
This should be the up-to-date one. We moved X camera, which was right here. I'm pretty sure everyone can see from my end. I don't think I should zoom in. And so, yes, this should be up to date. Item 10, old business, would be funding for Soka Wellness Retreat. This has been postponed indefinitely. We would be moving on to 10.2, which would be the Space and Oversight Committee election. Hold on a second, folks. Bye. I move. Would anyone like to second?
History.
History seconds. Thank you kindly. All right. Be it resolved to elect councilors D, E, and F to serve on Space Oversight Committee for the council terms of 2023, 2024. Okay. I recall that there should be a vote for this one. No, because there are positions that are contested at the moment. There are multiple contestants for limited spaces.
You restart. It's a new week. It's a new election. There's no one nominated.
I've been notified that it's a new election every single time we continue these things. So that means we carry out the exact same process as the first time I introduced this, which would be 3 calls for nomination. And then if there are more contestants, then there are positions available. We would do the vote call then. So here goes. First call for nominations then. Would anyone like to be on the Space and Oversight Committee? Ashley, you have a list.
I do. I would like to nominate myself to sit on the Space Oversight Committee.
Understood. You have been. ESSS counselor. You have a second list.
I'd like to nominate myself for this committee.
Fantastic. Thank you for your service. I would like to go for second call for nominations. Round 3, calling for nominations. Okay, seeing none. Be it resolved to amend 10.2, replace D, E, and F with Counselor Ashley Flett, Gender Studies, and Tony Kuliath from Engineering to serve on SPOC for the council terms. Seeking unanimous consent. No dissent. This adoption of the amendment passes. So now be it resolved to elect Councillors Ashley Flett and Tony Kuliath to serve on SPOC for the council terms 2023-24. Seeking unanimous consent for this one. There will be no dissent. This passes unanimously. Fantastic, everyone. We now move to the Accessibility Committee election by VP Equity and Sustainability. I move, may I get a seconder?
External.
External seconds. Thank you very much. Do I have to read these things out loud every single time? Unfortunately, I do. Whereas per SO 11.5, the selection of students at large members and counselors for this committee shall be prioritized to students with lived experiences. Whereas there are 4 seats available for members of council, be it resolved to elect counselors I, J, K, and L to serve on the Accessibility Committee for the 2023-24 council term. Let's call for nominations. Bhuvan, you have the list?
Yeah, so I would like to offer myself as a member for this committee. Also, I'd like to nominate Aaliyah from PSSU and Rajdev from SAS for this committee as well.
Understood. Are they inside the meeting at the moment with us?
Yes, Aaliyah is. Rajdev, I think, just left the meeting a short while ago.
And they are both absolutely on board with being on the committee?
I believe so, yeah.
We need to ask them.
We have to.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Per policy, I've been informed that we have to ask them, straight up ask them, as in they need to be inside and I need to verbally. Unfortunately, that's how the policy works. I apologize.
Unless he's able to email you or something like that.
However, you are thoroughly present. I'm marking you down. Thank you kindly. Whoa, that's a quite a few list. Adriana, you have the next list.
Yes, I do not nominate myself, but I do nominate the DNA counselor, Denise Arias, who, to my understanding, looking at the participants, was not able to join the meeting. However, it is a different situation such that DNA has a mandated seat on AC. So I don't know exactly how that works in this context, but that is an important note, is that we have a guaranteed seat.
Guaranteed. This will mean that they don't have to run that. All right, then. Then
you should be asking me if she accepts her nomination. But she is in the meeting.
And I can check to see if I've got correspondence with them that directly it directly ties to that. They were trying to get into the meeting at the beginning and couldn't and gave up. So I'll try and call them and see if I can bring them into the meeting.
fair enough. Okay. And if they can, it's no stress. Oh, I remember something. Bart, you mentioned that you were nominating 2 extra people along with you to join the Accessibility Committee.
Yeah, so I was nominating Aaliyah and Rajdev.
Is Aaliyah inside the meeting at the moment?
She is, and she in the comments accepted the nomination.
Got it. Understood. I am very glad I did not skip over that. Got it. Adriana. Oh, Nancy, you are the next list.
Yeah, I wanted to nominate myself for this committee.
I marked 4 people down. I believe that would be all the lists. Any further nominations? Oh, Abby, remind me, which call for nominations am I on?
I think this was just the first, so second.
Okay, let's get this going. Second call for nominations. Third call, nominations. Anyone at all? Okay, well, that concludes it. So be it resolved to amend this motion and strike I, J, K, and L on this motion and replace them with Councillors Bubar, Councillor Alia, DNA Councillor, and VP External to serve on the Accessibility Committee.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Yeah, DNA counselor gets their own seat on accessibility committee, so they would not be part of the I, J, K, and L. Those are for counselors specifically. The DNA counselor is in addition to that, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Oh, I see. Understood. So that means accessibility committee will have a maximum available of 4 counselors plus DNA counselor. That's good clarification. Got it. DNA counselor, right, where was I in the middle of the amendment? Right, and then VP External Affairs to be on the accessibility committee for 2023, 2024. My bad, almost missed it. Adriana, you have a point of order.
I don't know if it's a point of order or point of information.
Adriana, I apologize. Your microphone's sort of cutting out.
Just texted me a picture to show the thing. If you can hear me at all, the DNA counselor just sent me a picture that they're unable to join the meeting. And I was just wanting to check in to see if I could put that somewhere. Let me just connect to my house. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. I can hear you.
What I was just saying is the DNA counselor just sent me a screenshot that shows that they are unable to get into the Zoom meeting. My understanding is that they are using their SFU account, but I will call them and ask. So I'll still be in this meeting, but I won't hear you for a couple minutes.
It'll be available for all SFU students. It's on the SFU account. There shouldn't be any problems. Okay, understood. We voted on the amendment I mentioned yet. No, I don't think so. All right, seeking unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, this adoption of the amendment passes. So now, as far as the official soldering goes, be it resolved to elect Councillor Buban, Councillor Alia, DNA Councillor, and VP External to serve on the Accessibility Committee for 2023 to 24 council term. Seeking unanimous consent. Okay, no dissent. This carries wonderfully. We can now move on to 10.4, the Events and Student Affairs Committee election, VP Events, Student Affairs. I move. May I get a second?
History.
History seconds. Thank you. Be it resolved to elect Councillors W, X, and Y to serve on the Events and Student Affairs Committee for the council terms 2023 to 24. I would like to run first call for nominations. Priyanka, VP Equity, you have a list.
I would like to nominate myself, and then I would also like to nominate VP External Nancy Brewer.
Nancy, would you like to use your list to accept that?
Of course, I would like to accept it. I can't even speak.
We knocked out 2 letters in one go. Thank you kindly, everyone. Councillor Catherine, you have the next list.
I would also like to nominate myself for the events committee. I had another question, if that was okay.
Of course, yes.
Looking on the SFSS website under the committees, I see an outreach committee. I was wondering if elections, if that committee is still open and if elections would be happening for it anytime soon.
Student Outreach Committee, I don't think that was an item on today's agenda.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it on this week's or last meetings. I was just wondering if it was still an open committee.
Oh, Abhishek's in the room with me. He might be able to clarify something. Yes.
Yeah, I can add something to that. Yeah, it could be on a future agenda. I think it's up to, I think the execs are trying to get the basic committees up and going, SPOC, accessibility, all the committees related to their portfolio. And it'll be up to them if they choose to activate the outreach committee, as the outreach committee did have its, I believe its budget cut a little bit, but it'll be up to the execs when they choose to call for that election. But I would assume it is going to come at some point.
Okay, thank you.
You have interest in joining the outreach committee?
Yes.
Got it. We should put that in order soon.
Thank you.
Not at all. And I put you down for student affairs. Understood. DNA counselors. All right, second call for nominations. None. Third call. Nominations. Anybody at all whatsoever? Seeing none, we can go for the adoption of an amendment. Be it resolved to strike. Be it resolved to strike I, J, K, and L on motion 10.3 and replace them with. Oh, my bad. Item 10.4 and replace them with Priyanka, VP, who was the VP Equity, VP External Nancy, and us counselor to serve on the Events and Student Affairs Committee for the council terms of 2023 and 24, seeking unanimous consent. No dissent. This passes. So now be it resolved to elect VP Equity, VP External, and SUS counselor to serve on the Events and Student Affairs Committee for the rest of the years. Fantastic. Seeking unanimous consent. There is unanimous consent. This passes wonderfully. Someone please interrupt me if there was an amendment that we should have gotten to. Otherwise, I'm moving on to 11, which is new business. But first, Ashley, I see you have a list.
Yeah, I have a bit of a list here. I'd like to move to suspend the rules to actually move all of the committee elections we have remaining for this meeting to right now. That would be the BIPOC, the equity, the external, and I believe governance. No governance? No? Okay, so just those three then to right now. Just so we can get all the committee elections done and over with and keep it all nice, neat, and clean. I will move that.
Well, I will second that. That sounds very reasonable. Okay. Seeking unanimous consent.
Point of order. Would vice chair be added to those elections as well to get that out of the way?
No, I was going to have that at the bottom of new business.
Okay, fair enough.
All the elections moved to the top. We will discuss them right now. Vice chair is still inside new business. Do I understand that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fantastic.
The three committees I'm moving up are external, equity, and BIPOC.
Got it. External, I'm seeking, you have
Adriana on the list.
I would like to seek unanimous vote on this one, but first, Adriana, I see you have a list.
My understanding is actually that my list pertains to the original topics of discussion, not this motion. So you'd actually want to pass the motion first and then get to my list. My list is not related to this.
Oh, all right then. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Seeking unanimous consent. There is no dissent. This amendment, suspension of the rules will be passed. Adriana, your list.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly return to finished business. And now that the DNA counselor is present in the meeting and they are automatically added to the accessibility committee, just to have that noted here. And Denise, if you could speak or type in the chat that you are here and accept this nomination.
Hello, Denise.
Hi, I'm here. I accept this nomination. Thank you so much, Adriana, for that.
Okay. It's very good to have that formally clarified. Thank you very much, Adriana.
Yeah, and I apologize. I was having trouble logging in with the email and everything, but I got it now. Thank you.
No, not at all. Access issues happen all the time. Okay, so with that being said, before we move on to new business, let's continue the elections for, I guess we can start with external, then equity committee, and then BIPOC. Abby, could you remind me the number of spots that are inside each committee, just for convenience?
Are they on the agenda?
They aren't, they were amended on.
Oh, okay.
No, I think they took the form of amendments. That means they would not be on the agenda that I'm sharing screening right now.
We can have these elections previously, right?
External equity and BIPOC, I don't think they were filled.
Okay, good.
No. Please post in chat. Oh, yes, please. Please do. This is the Equity and Sustainability Committee. Yeah, we can go through this one first. Equity and Sustainability has 4 designated seats for counselors and 1 additional exec officer, 1 seat for constituency group, whereas the VPUAA Environmental Science and SOCA counselor had previously been elected. And this leaves 3 remaining seats for counselors. Be resolved to elect X, Y, and Z counselors to serve on the Equity and Sustainability Committee for 2023 to 2024. I move. May I get a seconder?
Second.
OOC counselor seconds. Thank you. This will be I'm making a first call for nominations. This is the Equity and Sustainability. Oh, Priyanka, just for the sake of it, you could give a small introduction about this committee again and the stuff it does. Just in case any counselors haven't heard about this before from the last meeting. Hello?
Don't worry, she's gonna unmute herself.
Yes, sorry, hi.
Hello.
We're on Equity and Sustainability Committee?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna read it from the bylaws. The purpose of this committee shall be to center historically excluded students in the community at Simon Fraser University within the framework of the SFSS. These spaces have notoriously been governed by dominant figures in societies while excluding the most marginalized people such as Black, Indigenous, persons of color, poor or low socioeconomic status, immigrants, international students, women, queer, transgender, gender nonconforming people, sex workers, and other LGBTQIA2S+ communities. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you. Now it's going to be my first call for nominations, Equity and Sustainability Committee.
Ashley.
Ashley, you have a list.
Yeah, I would like to nominate myself for this for Equity and Sustainability Committee.
Got it. You are noted down. Myself, Adriana.
I would like to nominate myself and DNA counselor Denise Arias, as both of us are constituency group counselors and are therefore covered under the designated seat for each constituency group representative.
You cannot nominate yourself for a committee in advance of motion.
So this one's fine.
No.
The other ones.
I'll just keep mentioning them as they come up because they're all automatic. No worries, though. Apologies.
No, not at all, not at all. Okay then. Could you repeat the people you are nominating again?
I'm nominating myself and DNA counselor Denise Arias if they accept that nomination, as both of us are constituency group representatives and therefore have a designated and automatic seat. So I do believe they had raised their hand in Zoom and might have a note themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If the Councillor Adriana is not able to nominate herself, I can nominate them.
Oh, I am. It was just I jumped the gun a little bit. No worry about it.
Okay, fantastic. To mark down.
So those will be separate from the rest of nominations.
Separate.
Yes.
Okay, then that means there will still be, let's assume, equity. There will still be 3 available seats. This will be my second call for nominations. Third call, nominations. Okay, this will be sort of special. Abby, remind me, because they are completely separate from the 3 counselors that we'd be electing, then they would be their own motion themselves, would they?
I'm unsure about this. I think you can do it in one and it's fine, but just keep in mind, there's still 2 empty spots on equity.
Right, 3 counselor seats.
Yeah. so
3
there'll
empty
be two
counselor
empty-
seats.
There'll be 2 empty counselor seats because Ashley nominated themselves, so that would take up 1.
Yes, okay then. All right. Let's adopt this amendment. As I understand, there is 1 counselor who is going to be on the equity. Yeah, be it resolved to strike X, Y, and Z and replace them with Ashley, gender studies counselor, to serve on the equity and sustainability committee. Seeking unanimous consent, no dissent. This would pass. So now be it resolved to elect Counselor Ashley Flett to serve on the events and to serve on the Equity and Sustainability Committee for 2023 to 2024. Assuming unanimous consent, this passes unanimously. Okay. Welcome aboard, Ashley. We can now move on to, well, let's move on to BIPOC election. Whereas the BIPOC committee has 4 available seats, council, whereas BIPOC has designated seats for 1 representative from the SOCA executive, whereas the VPUAA and SOCA councillor has previously been elected, and this leaves 3 remaining seats for councillors. Be resolved to elect C, D, and E councillors to serve on the BIPOC for 2023 to 24. Very nice. I would like to make a first call for nominations. Adriana, do you have a list?
I would like to nominate myself for BIPOC committee as the out on campus counselor. I have talked with the VP Equity and Sustainability of this. I am of Colombian descent and I would love to be a part of this.
Okay, fantastic. IO retracts this list. Second call for nominations. No, none at all. This is for the BIPOC committee. Just for clarification. All right, this concludes second round. Third round, calling for nominations. Okay, so VP UAA nominates external. Got it, understood. Thank you for your service. And Nancy, you have a list.
Hi, yeah, so I would like to nominate myself for this committee, and I would also like to nominate IO VP Events for this committee.
IO VP Events. Okay. IO, I can clearly see is inside this meeting. IO, would you like to serve on BIPOC?
I accept the nomination.
Thank you kindly. Let me check if this is a 4 position.
I believe it is.
It says 3 remaining seats. This means that there would be a vote involved. VP Events. Oh boy. Before that, Adriana's point of order or point of information.
I actually have both, but the point of order is fine. I will just say I technically had a list before Nancy, but I'm fine seating that list. But the point of information was the people nominated were myself, IO, and Nancy for 3 spots. So there's 3 of us in 3 spots.
Oh, there's also VPUA, University and Academic Affairs.
He was asking for a different committee.
Different committee?
Oh, is this for external?
Oh, external committee. My apologies. I misread that completely. Thank you for telling me.
It would just be myself, Nancy, and IO.
Yes, yes, you are right. You are right. VPUA would not be on BIPOC. This means we have the exact amounts of counselors we need. There will be no vote whatsoever. I'm very, very, very glad. So let's Adopt the amendment, strike C, D, and
Hold on,
E.
so we have a list from VPUA.
Oh, my bad. VPUA, Thomas, you have a list.
Yeah, but what's happening? No. I heard something about VPUA and BIPOC. What's wrong? What's happening?
Yo, why, Scott?
Repeat that again.
We're doing elections for various committees and we're on by.
I know that. Can you just repeat what you just said though?
Repeat what I just said?
So basically,
Yeah.
Oh, basically what I just said is that we got 3 counselors on BIPOC. All right?
Yeah.
We have VP events. We have the OOC counselor, out on campus counselor, and we have VP external.
Are we allowed a max of 3?
It would be a maximum of 3 if there are more.
Yo, but I already was elected last week, like 2 weeks ago, yo.
You were already on BIPOC?
Yeah.
Oh, then no. Then this is completely my bad. I do not have the list of names with me. I should have. Then
Down, yo. Down. This is how y'all doing me, yo. Down.
it's a cruel world, and I will fix it right now.
I also should mention, I don't know whether this is the case, but you do need, I believe, a certain number of non-executive counselors. So the committee could not be Priyanka, Io, Nancy, and Thomas.
Wait, hold on. This I'm not familiar with inside the bylaws.
Ashley's a point of order.
Ashley, well, while I'm still thinking, Ashley, you have a point of order.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're actually good here because there's 4 slots on BIPOC and 4 people on that committee. Thomas was elected last time, but there's only 3 open slots on this current amended motion, at least 2 and up to 4 counselors in addition to the chair. Yeah, so we're
since
good. No vote is needed.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. There's a list of lists at the moment. We don't want to speak out of order. Ashley, I didn't mean to interrupt. You can continue.
Oh, you're all good. Yeah, so just my point of order was simply. Oh, hold on, give me a second.
What's going on?
Sorry. So my point was simply that you're good. All the seats are filled. There, we just need to seek unanimous consent on this.
Good, fantastic.
Yeah.
Before we get there, I did see IA's list. You have the next list, IA.
Sorry, I just have a question because the last council meeting, I nominated myself for BIPOC and equity, so I was just confirming that that was already there.
My implication was that this was an entirely new election.
Yeah, let's, I think Priyanka was the she should put it down.
Priyanka, you have your list?
So we did look at like the bylaws and I'm pretty sure Soka already has like a designated seat. So I think that you fill in that seat, so it should be fine.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I see.
Soka's on next.
You understand? You're a Soka counselor. You're automatic to be on the BIPOC. You are absolutely inside. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you guys.
Along with you, we are putting in VP events, UAA, and external. Adriana, I see you have a point of order.
It was point of information. Of note, it was VP UAA, VP events, VP external, and out on campus counselor, because VP UAA, we were saying, was already elected. There are 4 seats, therefore it would be all 4 of us. That was the way the math worked. The second question is, I'm pretty sure we're doing this all fine, but just to doubly confirm, the designated seats that we get are in addition to the 2 to 4, not within the 2 to 4, correct? And I'm pretty sure that that is the case and that we are doing this right, but I just want to double check.
Yes.
Okay.
People double checking. I'm confident enough that we are doing this right.
Awesome.
What could possibly go wrong?
But yes, I'm glad that everything is great. But yeah, just that for the math of it, it's that VPUA was the 1 seat that was already there, and the 3 additional are events, external, and out on campus.
Got it. Sindhu, is your list still standing?
No, I'll retract. Someone else answered.
Oh, okay then. If anyone has a list that I ran over, please yell at me now. Otherwise, I'm moving on to the adoption of the amendment. Oh, Priyanka, You have a list.
Okay, yeah, so it seems like we're all in consensus, but just to clarify, yeah, so SOCA and FMNISA executives have one designated representative for BIPOC each. The SOCA counselor put their name forward last time and they've claimed the designated seat for the SOCA representative spot. And that leaves 4 non-constituency group spots for counselors. VPUA put their name forward last time, which means for today there are 3 remaining seats. Those will be filled by Adriana, Ayo, and Nancy. No election is needed. And the 2 counselors that put their name forward last time, they do have confirmed seats. And I also have double checked this with our policy coordinator.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. That was good info for me as well. Seems we're in consensus that we are doing this by the book. I will cautiously now continue to adopt the amendment, which would be to, let me get back up to BIPOC. Yes, strike C, D, and E from this amended motion and replace them with VP events, VP UAA, OC council, and VP external to be serving on the BIPOC committee for the rest of the council term. Seeking unanimous consent here. There is no dissent. This would pass. Fantastic. All right. So let's strike this down. Be it resolved to elect VP events, VP UAA, and VP external to serve on the BIPOC committee for the 2023 to 24 council term. Unless I'm getting something wrong here. No.
UAA was already elected, remember? So it's OC councilor you're electing.
Oh, be resolved to elect OC councilor, VP events, and VP external to serve on the BIPOC for the rest of the council term. I'm assuming there's no dissent here. This would pass unanimously. Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. One more amended committee to one more committee to go, which would be, yes, external and community affairs. Whereas external and community affairs committee has 3 additional seats available for members of council, whereas the RHA and environmental science councilors have been previously elected. Be it further resolved to elect A, B, and C councilors to serve on the external and community affairs committee for the rest of the council term. Fantastic. I'm looking at any possible list. This would be Bianca. First call for nominations. Adriana, you have a list?
I do. Is Priyanka's list not first though?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought this was the yelling at me list earlier. This is an entirely different one. You are right. Thank you for that. Priyanka, your list.
Thank you. I would like to nominate myself for this committee, and I'd also like to nominate VP UAA Thomas.
VP UAA, would you like to serve? Thomas?
Yeah, I'd like to serve in external committee. No, yeah, external.
VP
Got it. Okay, good.
Damn. Okay, Councillor Nava, you have the next list.
I actually have the next list.
I forgot about your list and Priyanka's list all together at once in one go. My bad.
Specifically, you saw my list forgetting about Priyanka's, did Priyanka's, and then forgot about mine.
I am such a short ram, Adriana. You have a list.
Okay. I would like to nominate myself as the out-on-campus counselor, as well as Pranjali Man, the TSSU counselor, to the external committee.
Are they all here? I would like.
Yeah, if Pranjali could just type in the chat or speak.
Yeah, I accept the nomination. Mm-hmm.
Okay, glad to hear that. Fantastic. And this goes.
Ashley has a list very quickly.
Well, Nava first.
No, Nava retracts her list. It says, so this would be Ashley's list. Yes.
Yeah, I want to nominate the philosophy counselor Nava to sit on the external committee.
Councilor Nava, philosophy. Nava, would you like to serve? Philosophy counselor accepts. Nice. Okay. I don't even think I did my second and third rounds. Okay, second call for nominations. None. Third call for nominations of any sort. Seeing none, let's get straight to the amending. Hold on, let me just understand this for a second. This is external. There are 3 available spots, is that right? And there are a total of, yes, there are a total of 5 nominations. Thank you very much for pacing them out. I appreciate that. There would have to be a vote involved then. Okay. Pardon?
So basically, everyone's gonna have 1 minute to do a speech, and then I'll take a vote.
I guess there's no harm in putting out the small, oh, just for reiteration, how a voting for the election of a committee will go is that everyone will give a very short speech. Just like a 1 minute intro about who they are, why they really want to serve on this committee, yada, yada, anything you feel like you want to say. And then after that, we would be voting on any counselor would be able to vote up to 3 counselors or 0 counselors. Yeah, we got the pen and paper out, and then we see who gets the most votes. Top 3 get put in. Very, very straightforward. I guess we can go in the list basic here, which would be VPUA, VPES, OOC counselor, TSSU counselor, and philosophy counselor. In that order with the small speeches, whenever you guys are ready. So VPUA, academic affairs. So are we called upon? Oh,
Sorry, yo.
That's
you
a
guys
good
hear me?
question. I guess they could list.
You guys hear me? Okay. Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna give a intro why I want to join the external affairs committee.
Yeah, 1 minute intro.
Is that it?
Yes, that is right.
I just wanted to be more involved because like I'm already in the BIPOC and university academic affairs committee, so I just wanted to try and get involved in like external affairs. You know what I mean?
Solid argument.
Is there anything else I have to say other than my intentions?
No, you
Really?
say whatever you feel is necessary.
That's enough. Okay, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't really have that much to say right now, honestly.
Thank you kindly. I say that will do just fine.
Okay. It's cool. I look forward to it.
Good. BPES. You are next in line.
Okay, yeah. Hi. Yeah, so I'm putting my name forward for VP External and Community Affairs because part of the purpose of VP External Community Affairs is to advocate at the municipal, provincial, and federal level. As VPES, a lot of those interests align with my own and overlap with my portfolio. So being on the committee, I think would be helpful in terms of advocacy efforts going forward. And in general, I think in terms of lobbying, it's a useful skill to have and something I wish to work on throughout the year. So I have just a personal interest in joining this committee, and I think I could do some great work with all the other members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bianca. OOC counselor, whenever you are ready.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm Adriana, the Auto Campus Counselor. You've been hearing from me a lot today. I'm sure you're all tired of it. The reason I want to join this committee is External has incorporated a lot of the informal work that I've done for the SFSS. I'm one of the longer serving and more senior counselors, and I've had a long time to sort of work and build these community connections, be that with external organizations such as nonprofits, governmental organizations, and policy bodies. I've been going to conferences in my work with constituency groups and equity-led initiatives with this past year and a half or so. Additionally, when we're talking with the strike that is going on with the TSSU, that is a publicly available fact that there is a strike. Being able to sort of be knowledgeable about that within that sort of general capacity, whatever that may lead us to down the road. Additionally, that I have committee bureaucracy experience and I understand what it's like to participate in these committees and be able to advocate for certain positions and aid in the running smoothly of a committee. And that's sort of my pitch to y'all.
Good pitch. Thank you. TSSU counselor.
Yes, so very similar to Adriana, I have been part of many nonprofits here on campus, but also outside of the campus, and have many existing external relations, including with SFU 350, Women Transforming Cities, you name it. And I'm mostly there because I stand for equity, diversity, and that's the initiatives that I want to keep on the top when I negotiate and have ties with other people. And I think being on this committee would allow me to have those initiatives at the front line, because I come from a BIPOC background, and I think having me on the committee would allow to have connections moving forward and enable people like me to have a say in decision making. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Very good speech. Last one would be philosophy counselor. Philosophy, whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Nava, and I would really like to get a chance to be a part of this committee. I think that the work being done within this committee is really important, and I've gotten some experiences being a part of the club Amnesty SFU, so I know how important advocacy is. And yeah, I think it'd be great to be a part of the external committee. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. With a long, arduous, and possibly very tedious process of the voting, and there's no easy way to get this done, but we will go for one by one roll call for a total of 5 times. Abby.
So retract that.
No, you retract your list?
Yeah.
Abby retracts his list. There is nothing saving us from going through this. So everyone brace yourselves. We will begin. Wait a second. No. What am I using? No, we're not going through the roll call 5 different times. So I go through the roll call for every single person, and you can either mention it out loud or just put in the chat up to 3 counselors that you would like to vote for. You could vote for 1, 0, 2, or 3. Thank you very much. And Abby has pasted the names of everyone, all of the counselors inside. And yes, let's get this show on the road. We'll be going by the exact same order as roll call of attendance. Abby, how could you spell that wrong? We shall begin with, my dear goodness, Abby, I forgot who was here, who was not here.
Let's just start at the top of the list.
We will have to start at the top of the list, Archaeology Student Society. No, I definitely remember they were not here. Bachelor of Environmental Science. Bachelor of Environment. Environment, Tiana. That counselor is not here. Behavioral Neuroscience counselor. Thank you, Adriana, for putting this in the chat. Very good for clarification. Behavioral Neuroscience does not seem. Nope. Biology Student Union.
They just left.
Biology Student Union just left. Unfortunate. We will be moving on to Biomedical Physiology, Kinesiology student. Councilor Jobin, do you have a vote?
Sure, for Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana.
Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana. Okay, got it. Mark that down. Fantastic. For the sake of convenience, I guess I'll be calling out by counselors' first names, if that's all right with everyone. Just for the sake of it. So, Counselor Fuban, you are next. Do you have a vote? Counselor Fuban. Okay. Counselor Mabel.
Voting Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava.
Priyanka and Nava. Fantastic. Got it. Counselor Ava. Ava Wood.
Sorry, I was just absent for a couple minutes. My phone died, so I'm going to abstain because I didn't get to hear anything.
Oh, that is very unfortunate, but we will mark that down. Thank you. Counselor Jennifer. Data Science, Counselor Jennifer. They are very silent. Counselor Eden. That's another pass. Counselor Rafi.
Priyanka and Adriana.
Bianca and Adriana. Thank you. Got it. Counselor Tony.
Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana.
Okay. Counselor Grayson.
Nava, Priyanka, and Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Sophie. I don't recall film student being here. No. Counselor Ashley Flett.
I will be voting for Nava, Thomas, and Priyanka, please.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Counselor Eden, did we mark down your vote before? No? Okay. We got it. Actually. Okay then, Counselor Eric, you're next. Geography Student Union. That is null. Counselor Ishika, Health Science.
I would like to vote for Priyanka, Thomas, and Nava.
Okay, thank you. Recorded. Counselor Emilio, History. Emilio puts on BPUAA. Bianca and Nava. We got that down. Thank you. That is that. All right, Counselor Even, Indigenous Studies. No. Counselor Karishma Ayatsu, Counselor. Another no. Counselor Sebastian, ISSA. Radio silence. Counselor Ada, Mechatronics. Do you have a vote? Just as I thought. We've gone on for so long that everyone's in a coma. Counselor Sam, Molecular Biology. Sam Killoy? No, again.
Yes. Can I vote verbally?
Oh, yes, please. You are.
Can I vote for Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana?
Yes, you can. Mark down. Got it. That was molecular biology. Philosophy Student Union. Nava. Jules, Thomas, Priyanka, and myself. That should absolutely be allowed. Counselor Aliyah, Political Science. Strict for Nava. Thank you. Counselor Hillary, Psychology. Hillary? Nothing. Counselor Catherine, SUS.
I will pass my vote to Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana.
Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana. Got it. Thank you. Counselor Raj Dave. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I sincerely hope so. Arts and Social Sciences Counselor. Oh, sadly not here. Thank you. Okay. Counselor, I do not want to butcher this name. I apologize for that. But he is not here. I'll spare myself. Counselor Van, Statistics.
Hello, I think you skipped over my name.
Oh, my bad. I thought I've been informed that you were not here. No, my mistake.
Okay, sorry. I would like to vote for Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana.
Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana. Oh, thank you. Oh, and one more thing for future preference. How do I pronounce your name?
Oh, you can just call me Lynn.
Lynn?
Yeah, the name in the bracket.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah.
I don't think we got to Andrew. No, Councillor Andrew, sustainable energy engineering.
Hi, I'm going to abstain because I was called away and did not get a chance to hear the presentations.
Unfortunate, but fair. Okay. Constituency groups, they would still be inside vote, right? Good. Niece, I believe DNA counselor, yes, he is inside. DNA counselor. Thomas, Priyanka, and Adriana. All right. SOCA counselor, yeah.
You're skipping over me because of the discrepancy there.
Wait, what? Oh, there is a discrepancy. You are right.
Yeah. I'm talking with Sindhu. We've had the election like 2 weeks ago. So because I'm an acting counselor and not in the initial round of elections, so that's why there's a discrepancy. But I'll be voting for myself, Priyanka, and Pranjali.
Okay. Thank you. And now we move on to SOCA counselor. Yeah.
I'll vote for OC, TSSU, and philosophy.
Let's see.
So who's last?
TSSU
Sorry.
philosophy.
Philosophy.
Yes. Thank you. Noted down. Councillor Emmanuel, RHA. Emmanuel is absent.
No, he voted in the chat.
Oh, he did. OCBPUA. Thank you. TSSU, Councillor Pranjali.
I vote for Adriana and Priyanka.
Adriana, Priyanka.
So they want to vote for themselves.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I have a look count, so it doesn't really matter.
okay. Councillor Tulin. No, okay then. I guess not here again. We can move on to exec committee then. I'm assuming. Okay. We can start off with.
Oh, Councillor Buban, or sorry, point of order. Councillor Buban, who was near the beginning, just voted.
Oh, Councillor Buban from the beginning just noted.
Recorded.
Okay, thank you. It has been recorded though. All right, I will be voting for Priyanka. I'll be voting for Thomas and philosophy counselor. Oh, okay. VP internal, if you're still here. Do you have a vote? VP internal, Leonardo.
I think she said she had to leave at around 6 p.m. today.
Oh, then we will be getting to you, Jad. VP finance. How do you?
Hello. I will vote for Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava.
Got it. And VP UAA, Thomas. Yo, Thomas.
Yeah, what's happening?
We're voting.
Yeah.
Yo, man, where are you right now?
I'm voting for myself, Nava, and I'd like to vote for Priyanka as well.
Got it. Thank you. Record it.
All right, thank you.
External, Nancy, how do you vote?
I mean, like, I like everyone, but I gotta go with Priyanka, Thomas, and Nava.
Got it. Record it. VP Equity, Priyanka.
I'll be voting for myself, Thomas, and Nava as well.
Record it. Thank you kindly. VP Events, Ayo. How do you vote? He says Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava. Duly noted. Now, I believe that would be all.
We have a problem.
If I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think that is all of us. Abby, you were recording the votes. Tell me how it goes.
So we have a small problem. We have two counselors who've been elected clearly. Thomas and Priyanka have clearly been elected, and unfortunately for third place, we have a tie
There is a tie.
between Aiden and Nava at 15 votes apiece.
Am I as a chair able to wiggle this tie?
We would need a runoff election now, so people will be voting for either Aiden, Nava, or Adriana. Sorry, Adriana, Nava, or
Oh,
abstaining.
I'm sorry, there was another voice inside the chat. Does anyone have a list? No? Okay.
Adriana, yes, my apologies, my sincere apologies.
Who is the tie between again?
Adriana and Nava.
Ah, Adriana and Nava. Okay then. Then this would have to mean, unless I'm mistaken, we run through the roll call again
Yep.
with yet another vote. But this time it is solely
Oh,
between,
Andrew's listed.
but this time it would solely be between Adriana and
Andrew
Nava,
didn't get to
philosophy
vote.
counselor.
Andrew didn't get to vote, so I think this makes.
Do we skip over Andrew?
Yeah, because he was.
No, I abstain. I was going to say, to refresh the memories and maybe allow the two of us, I believe, that were not able to vote because we weren't here. Could we do quick campaigning from these two?
Oh, a quick campaign just between these two. Yes, that does sound like a solid idea. Because it's just these two, Adriana and philosophy. Would any of you care to go first?
I would happily go first. I was third in the initial order, so I would happily go. Yeah, so I was just talking about some of my experiences. I'm one of the more senior members of council, having been serving within the SFSS writ large, at times as a counselor, at times as an AVP for about a year and a half. A lot of the work that I've been doing has functioned in an external sense, working with nonprofits, going to conferences, doing public speaking, liaising with political groups and other projects like that. In addition, I've been working very directly with Nancy and the rest of executive around certain projects that have been mentioned today. I have a lot of knowledge and contacts within both the SFU community and external to that. And I would love to lend my expertise, knowledge, in addition to that, experience with committees and the bureaucracy that goes into administering and running a committee and helping out with that process as a councillor member to help everything go smoothly.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Just in the nick of time as well. Philosophy counselor. A second intro.
Hello, my name is Nava, and I would love to get to be a part of this committee. I've done some advocacy work as a part of Amnesty SFU, a club here. I've been in contact with like the Amnesty headquarters and gotten to work on various initiatives. And I've got a real passion for getting to work with the community outside of the university and work with the other members of the committee. And I think we can do some really great, important work. So I would absolutely love a chance to be a part of this committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councillor Andrew, you mentioned earlier that there were two other councillors who abstained and did not vote. Do you remember who the other one was?
Doesn't really matter now.
No, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, got it. No, because they abstained earlier, right?
Yes, we should still go through them.
I say we should still go through these two councillors as well.
Yeah.
Okay then. Let's start off with Councillor Andrew. Andrew, would you like to vote? We can end this very quickly at this very instant.
Let's go in order, Mr. Speaker.
On top of the list, please.
Oh, wait, do I need the list?
From the top of the list.
From the top of
Like when we restart the roll call, right?
Oh, no. It's just these two councillors again, because they abstained earlier.
Right.
We redid the intros.
Right.
In case they would like to cast in their votes now.
No. We have to take everyone's votes just for this runoff election.
Oh, just for this runoff. My bad. Okay. I'm sorry, Andrew. This was a misunderstanding on my part. Yes, we will be going in order. You're right. Archaeology, environmental. I do not recall we're here. No. Behavioral neuroscience. BNSS counselor. Nope. BSU counselor. Nicholas?
Nick's gone.
Oh, Nick is gone. Okay, then. Biomed Physiology Counselor.
Just double check. I'm choosing between one of them, right?
Yes, yes.
Or they can
You
abstain.
can choose 0, 1, or one of them, or you could completely abstain.
I'll go with Adriana.
Adriana, okay then. That was Joven. Okay. Cognitive science, move on. Nava, okay then. Computing science,
I would like to vote for Nava.
Nava. Criminology,
I'd like to vote for Nava.
all right. Data science counselor. They might not be here. Earth science. Nope. Oh, never mind. My bad. Just in the nick of time. Economic Student Society. Adriana. Engineering science.
I'd like to vote for Nava.
Engineer votes for Nava. Environmental science. How do you vote?
Nava.
Okay. Film Student Union is not here, I recall. Okay. Ashley. How do you vote?
I vote for Nava.
Gender Studies votes for Nava. Geography Student Union. How do you vote? Geography. I'm cautiously assuming that they are not present. Health Science. Counselor, how do you vote?
I vote for Nava.
Okay. History Student Union.
Nava, strongly in favor.
Indigenous Studies. Not, oh, my bad, not here. IATSU. So they're not here as well. Interactive Arts and Technologies. Okay. International Studies. International Studies. Nope. Mechatronics System Engineering.
Nava.
No. Molecular Biology. MBB Counselor.
They are in the room.
Sam.
Sorry, I was cutting out and I missed the second set of discussion. So I'm going to abstain from this round because I am very sorry. Wish good luck to all candidates for this.
No, that's very fair. Then we'd be moving on. Oh, philosophy counselor. No. Could have guessed. Thank you. Political science. Nava. Okay. Psychology. Psychology Student Union. You voting? Science undergraduate. Oh, my bad. Hi. Would you like to vote for Adriana or Nava? Oh boy. We are basically voting for the very last member to be on the external committee. And yes, as Adriana said, there is a runoff. The runoff is between Adriana, OC counselor, and Nava, philosophy counselor. And we are going by roll call for everyone's votes. Abstain? Fair. Okay, science undergraduate. Science undergraduate? Nothing. Society of Arts and Social Sciences.
Sorry, Science Undergraduate Society, I'd like to abstain. Thank you.
Abstain? Okay, got it.
Abstain from what?
Society of Arts and Social Sciences.
Marshane's not here.
Okay. Counselor Lynn. Software Systems. Lynn? No, I don't think they're here. They vote Nava. Thank you.
But to me. Oh, there, they sent it to everyone.
Huh? What?
We're good.
Statistics, counselor. Nava. Sustainable engineering. Sustainable energy engineering counselor, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'd like to vote for Nava.
Got it. All right, constituency group representative, disability and neurodiversity. Votes Adriana. OC counselor.
As a show of good faith, I would like to vote for Nava.
Okay. Soka counselor. Yaya.
I'll vote Adriana.
Adriana. Very nice. Residence Hall Association. Votes OC. Teach Support Staff Union. Anjali? No, I do not suppose they would be here. SPF. SFP IRG counseling. Okay. Yes, that is Pranjali. I don't suppose Tulin is here. Then, if that's the case, we get to exec committee. I will be voting for Nava. VP internal. Internal goes for Nava. VP. Are we continuing the rest?
Yep.
Okay, VP finance.
Vote for Nava.
Thank you. VP University. Thomas.
You can take him as a passive abstention.
Thomas, I'm skipping this guy. VP external.
Yeah. Sorry, Ashley. Sorry. I'm gonna vote for Nava. Love you though, Adriana.
Okay. VP equity.
I'll also vote for Nava.
All right. Last but not least, VP events. Io. Yeah, this guy's off in his own world. Okay, we've confirmed with it.
Okay, so by a vote of 21 to 6 to 3 abstentions, we have Nava elected as the last seat for external.
Okay, understood.
So that means Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava.
Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get this codified. Adoption of the amendment. I will go all the way back up to the very, wait a second. No, going back down to the external. There it is. Strike the letters from that motion and replace them with councillors Thomas, Priyanka, and Nava to serve on the External and Community Affairs Committee for the rest of the council terms. I'm going to be seeking unanimous consent. Yes, there should be no dissent. Okay, this will pass. And going all the way back up to the top. Yeah, fine. Be it resolved officially to elect Thomas, Priyanka, and Philosophy Councilor Nava to be serving on the External Community Affairs Committee for the rest of the council terms. I see no dissent. This will pass wonderfully. Thank you kindly, everyone. It's official. Oh yeah, congratulations as well now. I think this concludes the BIPOC, equity, and external. Yes, finished with all of them. We're moving on to new business now, is what I will cautiously assume, which is the increase of at-large membership. Wait a second, I recall, could someone remind me if this one got striked?
It was struck, sir.
Yes, it was struck by VP events. What I can see is somewhere over there. Because of that, we move on, item 11.2 then. Member Service Advisory Committee election. Okay, I move. May I get a second? Would anyone like to second? Just
Second.
to clarify, this is going to be a new business item. This is going to be the election for the Member Service Advisory Committee.
Equity seconds.
Equity seconds, fantastic. This was submitted by VP Events and Student Affairs. Be it resolved to elect councilors V, W, X, and Y to serve on the Member Service Advisory Committee for the rest of the council term. Priyanka, if I was there with you, could you let him give a small intro on the nature of this committee? VP Events.
I can give an intro. Okay. Yeah, the Member Services Advisory Committee. This is basically like we basically work with the society member services, and it's more or less just as the name implies, an advisory committee. It's basically just reviewing any complaints with like clubs or various member services, and then just thinking about the best ways to deal with it. It's not in any way an executive committee in the terms of like it will not be in charge of carrying out anything. It is merely an advisory board just to deal with any issues that may come in that sort of mindset. So it's just think of it like in the court case, the clubs are defendants, and this is effectively like in the sense where this advisory committee is, in a sense, is like a jury, just to decide whether or not something is out of touch or something's out of the line, and that's the entire function of this committee, just to make recommendations, not to actually enact anything by itself.
That is very clear. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Is it valid to think of this as a sort of complaints department?
Think of it as OCEO, but for clubs.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you. All right then. Member Service Advisory Committee elections. Oh, Abby, you have a list.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw something in here. This committee did not run last year, and it was very much to the detriment of the society. So I very, very much appreciate if counselors could volunteer themselves. It's not as imposing as it sounds. It's actually fairly standard, and it's not too much work. So I'd really ask that people do volunteer themselves for this position.
Very important. SASA Council, you have the next list.
Yes, so just to clarify, I must be in one of the committee, right? As a counselor?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so the DSSS data science, she is at chair right now and she cannot join this meeting at the moment. So I guess I just asked her if there's any election in the future that she can be in, because she hasn't been in any committee at the moment.
Oh, you mean the data science counselor?
Yeah, she left earlier for something else.
Understood. Abby, your direct response.
Yeah, sorry, just to answer your question really quickly. Any committees that aren't completely filled would be available. And then I think, as was mentioned a little bit earlier, some committees like Outreach and Vancouver Campus Committee will get started at some point, and those are still available. So if she's unable to not here at the moment, that's okay. But obviously over the next meeting or two, she should try and get a committee.
Okay. And also I want to nominate myself for this committee. If that's
Like to
possible.
join member services?
Yeah, because I haven't been in any committee and I should be in one.
Got it. Okay, fantastic. EPKSA, you have a list.
Yeah, I also just wanted to nominate myself too for the committee.
EPKSA, thank you very much. Okay, then. Second call for nominations. Third call for nominations. No. Then at the moment, as it stands, we would have the
Point of information, Adriana.
we'd have a SASA counselor, and we would also have BPKSA counselor. Adriana, you have a point of information?
Yeah, I was just going to recommend that. I don't know if this is still like the requirements. I guess Abby would know, but like there was a general expectation that for counselors to have like at least one committee to help fill hours. I don't think it's a hard and fast thing, but it's generally expected. So if you're a junior counselor and you're like, I don't know, but are thinking that you might want a committee and are just sort of trying to wait to shoot your shot, I'd just say go for it. We want committees to have as many junior counselors as possible. It's really important to get a portfolio.
I agree with that. Ava, you got a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if our committees from last year have not been officially dissolved, do we still hold them or do we need to run for another one? Like, for example, I was on 2 last year and I'm not sure if they're still in effect because I know some of them were contract-based stuff and so it might carry over.
Hold.
These things are wrong.
No, they all have to be rerun for it. There's a completely blank slate. If that answers your question. Okay, thank you. Where was I? Yes, as it stands, there would be the SASA counselor and BPKSA. Got it then. So be it resolved to strike BWX and
So these are the calls for nominations, right?
I recall I did all 3. Third call for nominations. Third and last call. Nope, there is none. We are striking, we are officially adopting the amendment to strike VW, X, and Y on motion 11.2 and replacing them with the SASA counselor and BPKSA counselor to serve on the Member Service Advisory Committee, seeking unanimous consent. There's no dissent. This adoption passes. So now officially be it resolved to elect SASA counselor and the BPKSA counselor to serve on the Member Service Advisory Committee for the rest of the council term. I see no dissent here. This carries wonderfully. And now I think we are at our very last committee, which would be the Surrey Campus Committee election. Also by VP Events and Student Affairs. I move. May I get a seconder?
External.
External second. So be it resolved to elect councilors R, S, T, and U to serve on the Surrey Campus Committee for the rest of the council term. Oh, VP Events, could you give a small, brief summary about this one as well? If you don't mind, I want to know a bit about this myself.
Sure. Okay. So the idea is that because the Surrey campus is the mindset reapplies to Vancouver campus, by the way. But the idea is the Surrey campus can, while it is still a part of SFU and therefore its students are still a part of SFSS, it effectively exists as its own microcosm, given the distance and the focus of the classes that go on there. So the point of this committee is to ensure that the Surrey campus at least has some reflection of the engagement and the activity that is going on the Burnaby campus. So the idea is that this campus would work. The idea is that this committee would more or less be like a liaison to try and bring issues facing the Surrey campus to light, as well as bring various events and just make sure the Surrey campus is as engaged as the Burnaby campus.
I see. And if a counselor was going to be serving on the Surrey campus, would the work in this committee cause them to physically travel to Surrey campus often? If you know this.
Not necessarily. For example, I live on the Burnaby campus, but as it stands, I do recommend counselors who already go to Surrey campus for classes to nominate themselves. This is not to say that there will be multiple times where you have to commute from Burnaby to Surrey. The events, like the events committee will not be once a week. It'll be far in between. And there is still correspondence coming from Surrey campus to here. So it won't be, it's not necessarily a hands-on, it's not necessarily a you have to be present sort of commitment. It's just a case of like, if you can be there, it's a plus. If you can't, if you're not there, it's not necessarily a minus. So I do recommend that counselors do join this committee.
Okay, thank you. Understood. All right, unless there are any further questions for this committee, I think I'm going to make the first call for nominations. Councillor Aiden.
Yeah, I would like to nominate myself for this position.
MSESS Councillor. Got it. Thank you. Councillor Lynn.
Hello, I would like to nominate myself for this positions.
Okay, thank you. VP Equity. Your list.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate myself as well.
Okay, very nice. And SESS Councillor.
I'd like to nominate myself.
Got it. Thank you.
And you can just call it CSS.
CSS. That is. That's much better. Thank you. All right. That was my first call. So second call for nominations. No. Third call for nominations. Nope. That would conclude it. So be a result to strike R, S, T, and U from this motion, replace it with the MSESS Councillor, SFSS Councillor, VP Equity, and the CSS Councillor to serve on the Surrey Campus Committee. I'm assuming there is no dissent whatsoever, so the adoption passes. So now officially be resolved to elect the MSESS Councillor, the SFSS Councillor, VP Equity, and also the CSS Councillor to be serving on the Surrey Campus Committee for the rest of the council term. So, unanimous consent. There's no dissent. This will pass unanimously. Thank you so kindly, everyone. Now, would anyone like to remind me if there is any further line? I am incredibly brain dead at the moment. Would anyone like to remind me if there are any extra line items on today's agenda aside from Q&A and adjournment? Yes, I am seeing about 3 things in the chat. Vice Chair is something I absolutely forgot about. It's at the very end of the agenda. Thank you so much. Ayo, you have a no, you retract. All right then. Oh shit.
Actually, has a list.
Yes, I do see it. Ashley, you have your list.
Yes, I do. There's actually 2 things remaining on new business. No, actually, I don't actually recall whether or not Leah's amendment was a notice of motion or a new business item, but there's still vice chair, as well as changing council time motion.
Would you be so kind as to copy and paste?
Simmer just did.
It's already inside. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So unless, tell me if I'm understanding wrong, we have the vice chair election still to do. And then we have the modifying council meeting time motion that Leonardo submitted. But aside from that, is there anything else? Yeah, Ashley, your direct response.
So is the changing of council time a notice of motion or a motion?
See, notice of
It's a notice of motion. Yeah, so there's just vice chair and then Q&A and then adjournment.
Oh, okay then.
Point of order. Do we not have the composition of governance to go over as well as a notice of motion or motion? I believe that was brought at the start of the meeting.
The governance notice of motion.
Yes, I'm trying to pull it up here. I don't know if
In the governance committee.
Yes.
Yes, I do remember there was a notice of motion.
I'm looking for it. Ah, I got it. It says governance composition. Ashley dropped it. It says governance composition, whereas the governance committee is crucial to the ongoing procedures and functions of the SFSS. I'll just screenshot it and drop it in the chat for you, Mr. Speaker.
I think it might have already been copy and pasted by Ashley, unless this is something completely different.
Oh, no. That's done. We're good. Sorry.
All right, then. Ashley, to confirm with you, this is a notice of a motion. Is that right?
Yes, this is simply a notice of motion.
All right. This is good to know. Then, as long as this motion and Leonardo's motion are notices of motion, then we have the vice chair election to go through. And I'm presuming there isn't anything other than that. All right, then. Whereas there's currently not a vice chair for the 2023-2024 council year. Yeah, it is this one. Let's finish the vice chair election motion. I move. May I get a second?
Gender studies.
Gender studies seconds. Okay, then. Whereas there's currently not a vice chair for the rest of the council year, be it resolved to elect non-exec counselor as a vice chair of council for the rest of the council year. As per all of the other committee elections, I presume we will be doing a call for nominations. What the agenda is. All right, let's do it. First call for nominations. To be a vice chair of the council meetings. Io, you have a list.
I nominate MBVSU Councilor Sam Kilby.
The MBV counselor. Okay, then. Sam, what do you say?
I say, what is I know I've looked over, but I was just wondering to refresh, what would be the requirements of this role?
Oh, vice chair is basically in essence going to be like a co-host assistance for the remainder of the council meetings. So, for example, they can sub in for the regular chair and temporarily chair if necessary. And they basically act as a co-pilot for the rest of the council meetings, is my understanding at the moment. Abby.
I retract.
No, you retracted. Okay, then.
My position on it is I'm willing to take the role. However, and I should be able to work things out, but right now I'm with my current job. I work till 5, so I'd be willing to take the role as a co-pilot and work with you.
Okay.
But as I would definitely be more effective towards the latter half of a meeting, I'm just wanting to let everyone know that.
Oh, that's completely understood.
But during the rest of the council year, I can fully commit to being available for the full meeting and committing to being available and for the full meeting during the rest of the council year. It was just, I have to balance both work, but I will, if you guys elect me to this position, I will request to work early on council Wednesdays.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you.
So I should be able to put in my full time to it.
That's sincerely appreciated. Definitely, but don't overwork yourself by any means.
Liam, that fell out the window at least a year ago.
Hey man, what's important is that you at least try to not overwork yourself even more. That is what I prescribe. Please do not.
I will not, and I will be able to take the role without overworking myself if you guys elect me to it. I would be sorry, IO did not give me much warning on this, but
okay.
I would be I would be willing, I would be capable.
All right, thank you, MBB counselor. Sincerely appreciate it. We'll have to move on to a few other lists. I believe it was Ashley who has the next list.
I actually had a direct response that you skipped over. Can I take that first?
Oh, yes, please, my bad.
Yeah, I was just responding to MBB's question about vice chair. As I was vice chair last year, I figured I could perhaps give some context to that. As vice chair, you actually have a pretty major time commitment. It's about double. I at least spent double the amount of hours as a normal counselor, spending about 40 hours a month. You do simple things like assisting with approving meeting minutes, calling agendas, all that fun stuff that a chair does, except obviously as vice chair, you are second to the chair, as well as taking over when Liam is preoccupied, either say he can't attend the entirety of a council meeting or he has to step out for a moment. That's basically the gist. So I hope that provides some added clarity to that. As for my list, I would like to nominate myself for vice chair of council.
Got it. Thank you. Both of you, MBB counselor and Ashley, for your service. I want to see who has the next list. I'm assuming yes, Counselor Aiden, MSESS counselor. Unless I'm skipping over another person. Oh,
Retracted.
Aiden did retract. Okay then. OC counselor.
Hi, I thought I'd add a little bit of fun for this. I am also going to nominate myself for the role of vice chair. I too have long worked as a counselor. During my council days, I was infamous for working generally between 80 and 120 hours every single month. That was the average hours that I've worked. Even in the time when I took a break from being a counselor within my work with the constituency groups and other equity-led initiatives, I worked similar hours. Within this past month, I've been generally in about 12 hours of meetings relating to work with the SFSS at every given instance of work, be that with things that were talked about earlier today, with a project that I've been working on with outreach with the university and all these different things, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about vice chair. I think that I would make a great pick for vice chair, as I've worked with as the AVP internal under Peter this past term. I have a very nuanced and deep understanding of the bylaws and have worked very significantly on them, being a copywriter and proofreader of a lot of the amendments that, though was not passed this most recent election cycle due to a lack of quorum from the student.
I'm afraid I might have to call out of order.
Oh,
my sincere apologies. I want to get through I want to get through all the people who are nominating. I'm not sure how many people are interested in nominating for vice chair is my issue at the moment. That's all right.
What would you like me to do?
Well, after all the calls for nominations.
Sure.
Maybe we could have a chance for lists. If it's necessary,
I will withhold till then.
Hold on, I'm trying to look at the next list. MBB council, do you have a list? MBB?
Is it possible if I could request for Io to go before me?
Oh yeah, of course. Io, you're next.
Okay, just first off, I guess this is coming down to a battle of experience. So I just wanted to kind of make it, if Sam isn't willing to make it clear by himself, I just want to kind of make it clear. I did work with the Science Undergrad Society last year. And Sam was obviously one of the people I worked alongside with. And I can vouch for him having at a very sufficient level of the Robert's Rules of Order, while also being able to maintain a very neutral stance when it comes to chairing meetings. Considering that, like, he came into the Science Undergrad Society as a first-year representative and not even necessarily an executive officer, and he was still trusted to undergo like all these processes, chair meetings, and just kind of understand how it was supposed to work. That was very impressive, especially considering that within those same meetings, we had someone like Ben Tischler, who for those of you who are not here for the previous council year, Ben was arguably the most well-versed in the Robert's Rules of Order within the council at the time. So that was like my main reason for nominating Sam in the first place. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think that I was going through first call for nominations, all right? Second call for nominations for vice chair.
There's still a list.
Beg pardon?
There's still a list, MBB counselor.
My bad. I'm so sorry, MBB counselor. You are the next list after IO.
Thank you. I want to again thank Io for nominating me, and I'm just wanna. I was a little blindsided by this. Can I, at a later point, clarify whether I intend to retract or not? I'm still looking over my schedule to make sure it's something that I can put in my full time and devotion to, because as much as I do know Robert's Rules of Order, I do not want to both overburden myself or provide less than satisfactory work to the society.
Of course, that's perfectly reasonable. And if you should choose to take on this role, I can guarantee you personally, I'll go out of my way to make sure that it's not work. It is not going to be as work intensive as you may or may not believe it is. It's vice chair is an important position, but it is not intensive in the way that you will have to do a whole lot of work after council meetings, if that makes sense. It is not a role meant to keep someone busy around the clock. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So
Liam, point of clarification on that.
Point of clarification.
Yes. Depending, because this person who's vice chair heads up OCEO, depending on how many problems there are, if it's like last year where you have a ton of issues with OCEO, this person is going to be spending a lot of times going through process and talking with legal and a whole bunch of other stuff. It can be a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely. It can be. Well, if you barrage any position with issues, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, they will be busy around the clock. So in that sense, I do agree that you are right. But I still stand by the fact that a vice chair is not a position that's meant to be keeping someone busy. It's not meant to shackle anyone, is what I'm saying. It's not one of those kinds of positions. But I do agree with you on the fact that they take on very important tasks in that sense. So it's kind of a pillar. It's very important. But I just don't believe it's designed to be taxing. Gargantuan, yeah. Check and balance on the other team. Can an engineering student do this position? Counselor, an engineering student can be SFSS president and get along reasonably fine. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm in computer engineering second year. But I do agree with the comments here that it is an incredibly important position. I can see to that. Okay. I don't think I did third call. Did I do third call for nominations? No. Okay. Round 3. Last call for vice chair nominations. All right. Okay. Seeing now. So as I understand it, one person is going to be the vice chair. We have a total of 3 candidates at the moment. We have the MBB counselor, gender studies counselor, Ashley, and then we have OC counselor. MBB, you list.
with thanks to IO, I would like to retract my name from consideration for this position. It is an honor to be considered for it, and I am willing to work or do whatever, but I do not feel I have the ability to commit the additional time at this point. I wish best of luck to the other two candidates.
Understood. All right. Officially retracted. That leaves only Ashley and the OOC chair. OOC counselor, my bad. This will be another speech and votes, is to my understanding. Let's see, Adriana, I apologize for cutting off your intro earlier. I think now will be a good time for it.
Thank you for the introduction, Liam. I would be happy to go ahead. What I was saying was that I was someone on council who spent a lot of time behind the scenes working with the VP internal at that time with the bylaws, and spent time studying Robert's rules, spent time drafting changes to our bylaws and becoming deeply acquainted with aspects of them that are somewhat archaic and strange to navigate and have a lot of ideas around the intricacies and nuance. I would also like to add that while I was here a while back and have been operating behind the scenes, the sort of tumultuous era of the most recent term that had ended, in which Ashley, as our great vice chair, was last semester, I think perhaps a shift in the way that we conceive of chairing and a movement away from that sort of culture that existed during that time, and a fresh approach to the way that we conceive of vice chairing might be in order. And I would like to position that I have both the experience, diligence, and background knowledge to be able to fulfill this role to an excellently capable degree. And I would greatly appreciate any support that comes my way. With that, I will very happily pass this on to Ashley.
Thank you. Ashley, you have the floor. A few words?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, where to begin? I mean, for starters, I was the vice chair of council for the majority of last year. I chaired multiple council meetings, including the last two of last year's fiscal year, successfully able to pass the budget. I have an abundance of experience with Robert's rules and chairing committees. I'd like to hope that I'm able to ensure that council meetings and committee meetings go smoothly and that everybody is able to have their voice heard and represented, and that we can move forward smoothly without being so bogged down by little nitpickies, as it were. You know, I work well with the current executive team and worked good with the last executive team to ensure that, especially with calling agendas and ensuring that meeting minutes are approved, is something that I did a lot in the past to ensure that the president is able to focus their duties on, you know, the important stuff the president has to do, being the legal liaison officer, being the staff liaison officer. It's nice to have a vice chair who is capable of putting out the call for agendas or approving minutes, just so that the society can run smoothly. Yeah, thank you for hearing me out, and I hope I have your vote.
Thank you, Ashley. Okay, voting time. We shall be going. Abby, please interrupt me if I'm calling for a counselor which you know is not present. I have the memory of a goldfish with Alzheimer's. It's not good. I will be starting with behavioral neuroscience. Behavioral neuroscience. Biology student union.
They're gone.
They're gone. Good. Biomedical physiology counselor.
Sorry, I'm not good with names. Who are the two people running again? Adriana, and who's the second person's name?
Adriana and Ashley. Adriana.
Okay, I am. Okay, I'm casting my vote for Ashley.
Okay. That is marked down. Thank you. Cognitive science. Cognitive science counselor. Bhuban is not here. Computing science.
I have no preference, so I abstain.
Computer science abstains. Criminology.
Yeah, I vote for Ashley. She did a great job last year. Yeah.
Okay. Data science. I recall Jennifer had to leave the meeting. She could not be in here. Earth science. Earth science abstains. Okay, then. Economics. Economics. Rafid. I'm afraid they are not here. Engineering science. Dang, but we lost engineering.
I'd like to abstain.
Beg pardon?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'd like to abstain. I don't think I accidentally missed a bit of it.
Understood.
Most recent.
Engineering would abstain. Environmental science votes Ashley. Okay, then. Film student union. Not here. Okay, then. Ashley. You vote Ashley.
I do vote Ashley, yes.
Ashley votes Ashley. Geography student union. Health science undergraduate.
I vote for Ashley.
History student union.
Although I don't agree with everything, I think Ashley was a great vice chair. It is my pleasure to vote for my girl, your girl, our girl, Ashley fucking Flat. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Indigenous studies student union. Interactive arts and technology. Do you vote? Another one not here. International studies. No. Bond, are you voting on behalf of someone? Adriana, your point of order.
We missed their votes, so I've recorded it.
It sounds like a lot of people have left. Do we have quorum?
That's a good question. We can check right now. Oh, well, on the meeting, it says 34 participants. So if we want to be technical, yes, this meeting can very much still function.
Of note, two things. One of which is not all of those participants are counselors. There are some affiliated groups that are not counselors.
Yeah.
The secondary point is, what are generally our rules around counselors who are like here in technicality?
Here in technicality.
Like they're here, but they're not responsive.
That's a passive abstention.
Passive abstention. Well, in a nutshell, when I was a counselor inside SFSS, we would, yes, basically, whenever we would do one of these roll calls for the rest of the meeting, they would be counting as abstention. As long as they are here for the roll call at the very start, they would be marked as present.
Hi, sorry, I have a point of order. Just real quick, by the way, I just did a quick quorum count. We in fact do have quorum and are able to proceed.
That is very, very pleasant to know. Okay, then we will be proceeding. Now, where was I?
I believe you were at Ayatsu.
You make sure to mark down Bhuban.
I did.
Fantastic. We were at Ayatsu. Ayatsu's not here. International studies. Counselor, are you here? They are in fact not here. Mechatronic systems engineering.
Ashley, it is.
He says Ashley. Molecular biology.
Ashley.
Well, it's Ashley. Philosophy, student union.
Put the chat.
Yeah, puts down Ashley. With a human figure, write that down too. Political science. Also votes for Ashley. Let that be known as psychology student union. Psychology. Votes Ashley. Thank you. Science undergraduate. I do not think Catherine is present. No. Okay then. SAS counselor. No, I do not think so. Software systems? Lynn? The counselor is also not present. Statistics? Well, Ashley, thank you. Sustainable energy engineering?
I'll vote Ashley.
Another Ashley. Constituency group representative time, disability and neurodiversity. Votes Adriana. OOC counselor?
Truthfully, I do think that Ashley is more than qualified for this position, and I welcome the opportunity to test her and see that she still had the muster to do this again. I, in that good spirit, will also be voting for Ashley.
All right, thank you. SOCA counselor?
I'll vote Ashley.
Ashley, all right then. RHA counselor? RHA goes for OOC. TSSU? TSSU. Yes, another OC. Tulane.
Not here.
Okay, right. Bless their soul. President, I will be voting Ashley. VP internal. Internal, Leonardo. Still absent. Right? No. She told me. I do remember now. I do remember. VP finance.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, then VP university. Thomas. That guy. VP external.
I'll vote for Ashley.
External goes for Ashley. VP equity.
I'll vote for Ashley as well.
Okay, VP events. Io.
Ashley.
Another Ashley. Okay, how'd it go?
So not counting passive abstentions like those of the VPUAA, we have 3 votes for Adriana, 4 abstentions, and then 20 votes for Ashley and 1 human figure as you asked me to record.
Thank you kindly, very much. Okay then, So we shall move all the way back up to the original motion. Yep, okay. I'm assuming we can just amend this motion right here, unless we're not adopting an amendment, are we?
We do have to adopt the amendment to replace the vice chair.
We are adopting the amendment. Be it resolved to take this motion, strike the vice chair and replace it with Counselor Ashley, gender studies counselor for the rest of the council year. Oh, she turned her mic on. Hello. All right, I'm seeing no dissent. Adoption of the amendment passes. All right, so officially, be it resolved to elect Counselor Ashley Flett as the vice chair of council for the rest of the council year. Seeking unanimous consent. And I'm seeing no dissent. This passes unanimously. Hold on. There's a whole bunch of messages, but no lists. It's all celebrations. Fantastic. Okay, then this passes unanimously. Thank you kindly, everybody. Now, Ashley, interrupt me right now if I am wrong, but I do believe it's Q&A and then adjournment. Emilia says no.
Well, we have to go through some of the old business.
Some of the old business, yes. Aside from governance notice of motion. Wait, is that the only one? Or Leonardo's motions as well, right? Okay. Remind me how we plow over a notice of motion. That is not an actual motion, but a notice of.
You just read it out loud. So you can choose to just read the title or the whole motion. If someone wants, they can ask you to read the whole motion, but we've seen chairs both just read the title and then ask council to read it or read it all out loud, up to you.
Okay. So I learned what we do for notice of motions. Apparently, we read it out loud so everyone knows what it is, and then it's a Q&A session for it. But there's no voting, there's no moving, and there's no seconding.
No, Q&A sessions after, you just read that out.
Yep, that's my understanding. So we can start with the government's composition motion, the very start. So whereas the government's, I will read it out loud just for the sakes of it. Whereas the government's committee is crucial to the ongoing procedures and functions of the SFSS and is also chaired by VP Internal. Whereas the VP Internal was not consulted on changes made to the governance committee, whereas changes to the governance committee composition have increased the minimum quorum count, making it challenging to meet quorum. Be it resolved to amend the following to governance committee terms of reference under Council SO-5 under composition below. You can see the composition would just be composed of ex officio, which is the president, that's me, chairperson, VP Internal, 4 other councillors, and a non-voting member, which is the policy and research coordinator. Unless anyone else. No, I don't see any other list. Unless anyone else would like to give clarification on this notice of motions, I guess I can speak on their behalf. This was from the previous council terms. There was a motion to basically increase the size of the governance committee by adding various other members into it. And what this motion that Internal is basically bringing up is to basically retract that decision. Personally, I would agree with it. It basically dilutes the accountability of the governance committee as well as slows it down with various people who might not even be interested in the governance committee or qualified for the roles it takes. And the governance committee works quite a bit with the bylaws of SFSS. It's quite important. And that is the main essence of it. Would anyone else like to list or ask questions? Emilio.
Yeah, I'll make it quick for you, Mr. Speaker. One of the greatest challenges when I sat on accessibility committee last year was that that's a large committee and we could not have quorum. And one of my greatest fears is that if we go ahead where the previous person who brought this forward didn't talk really with anybody else and they tried to shove this through at their emergency meetings in a very ham-fisted fashion, is that we're going to be before an AGM, or we're going to be during our finals, or we're going to be during our midterms when people aren't able to show up. We will not have quorum, and that's going to be a very big threat to what arguably is our most important committee and its functioning. And based on past precedent, the way that it's worked is there's been no issue in the past. Because a lot of other members which actually head this committee versus what the previous VP External did, you know, it's just, it's an unnecessary change. And like you, I support this. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ashley, you have a list?
Yeah, I do. Just for quick point of clarification, Liam, we are talking about the notice of motion, correct?
Yes, we're talking about the notice of motion submitted by VP Internal.
Excellent. So I just wanted to mention, as the one who amended this notice of motion on, that basically, essentially this motion is just putting it back to the way it was. I'll mention kind of 3 points as to why I think we should do this. First and foremost, both the VP Equity and the VP Internal, who are execs who are automatically on this committee with the current composition, were not consulted about this change. I will point out that the acting VP Internal was the one who pushed for it and did not consult with the new VP Internal before making this change. I will also mention that the way this change was passed was dubious Robert's rules at best, as it was amended into the consent agenda after the consent agenda had already been passed. So I think it's just fair for everybody if we put it back to the way it was as requested by the VP Internal, who was unfortunately unable to vote against this change to her committee due to the nature of the way this motion was passed. So that's simply why I'm putting this on here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I don't mind answering them at all.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, copy and pasting Zoom messages is not an option. The notice of motion is at the very, very, very top. Not at the very, very top, but it's very, very high up inside the chat history. After Ashley, I believe Adriana, you have the next list.
I think aside from bringing up the specters of old execs who are no longer a part of the society in any meaningful fashion, I do think that it is worthy of further discussion and especially consultation, which I will always be in favor of. I think perhaps what I might suggest to council is that we do follow through with Leonardo's initial ask of reducing it back to the way it was. I'm in favor of that. And then possibly looking into consultations and seeing if it was in fact the right change to have made. But I agree that in the short term, amending it back to its previous state and beginning a more formal consultation phase would be the right practice.
Thank you. Okay. Any other question? Or lists? No, we don't see any. We will be going on to the next notice. Well, oh, hold on. Yeah, we will be going on to the next notice. Yes, which would be modifying council meeting time mentioned in council policies. Again, I will read this one out loud just for the sakes of it. Whereas council meetings should be flexible to council member schedules, be it resolved to strike R7.6 and replace it with, it is suggested council meetings shall occur Wednesdays starting at 4:30 p.m. and ending at 8:30 p.m. but will be up to the discretion of council at the beginning of the council term. Meetings shall occur on a bi-weekly basis. I could speak a little bit on this myself. Some time ago inside a Discord chat, I recall that we have considered resetting the new council meeting times from 4:30 p.m. on Wednesdays to a time on Friday to see if that's the time when most people are going to be available. Basically, the big idea is we want to find out if there is another optimal meeting time to take place where most people would be available and just wouldn't really have to impede on everyone else's schedules. We're designed to let this become a notice of motion because we prefer to consult with everyone else inside council first, just to see how everyone else here feels about it. That's right. We are not voting on it at all. This is a notice of one. In fact, we're not even cemented on an exact time to reschedule these meetings, or we should even reschedule them at all. Our committees don't run much during the year. Hold on, I recall seeing a list earlier. Oh, Adriana, your list.
Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about the time thing. I understand the spirit of why it was brought to council. And I do understand that. And I think that that was a fair question to raise. But I think something that should be considered is that council has been on Wednesdays historically for a very long time. And myself and a number of other councillors, at least around a dozen that I've talked to, have indicated that they too became a councillor with the cemented expectation that it will be Wednesday evenings. And as such that it is the only time in the week that I have available.
Does make sense, and I do respect that, which is why this is still a very big topic of discussion. At the same time, though, I also understand that this has been a long-standing tradition. 4:30 p.m. Wednesdays, that's how it's been going for years and years. I just want to know if there is a time that is better. I do understand that there are some members here, I don't know how many, but there's a possibility there could be some members here who absolutely have to work with council meetings on a Wednesday, no other exceptions. But I've also been contacted personally by various other people, some execs as well, that Wednesdays at 4:30 just does not work at all whatsoever. And I just want everyone's approval on a certain time. If we can have one, that's optimal for as many people as possible. That's mainly it. And if we can find a time that is even a little bit better than 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, I am perfectly fine personally with changing it to that, regardless of how long Wednesdays at 4:30 has been as a tradition. Let me take a look at next lists. MBB Councillor, you have a list?
Yes, I just wanted to pretty much agree with what Ashley was saying. The expectation is that it is Wednesdays at 4:30, so that's when I cleared my evening schedule for. And I know several other counselors who feel the same way about this. I'd just like to add for the executive counselors as a question, not as a criticism as well, as this is like not unsubstantial job. I'm just like, is it like classes that would be conflicting? Because like SFU.
Yes, SFU. To answer that question, yeah, it could be a variety of reasons that could possibly conflict. It could be classes, it could be other personal things, but I mean, some people could be taking, at least this was my issue for some time. I was taking night classes at a Surrey campus, and it wasn't part of my course load, but it was something I was taking to get some sort of mechatronics certificate. But yeah, these things can happen. But at the same time, I do understand that there are people who have already cleared their schedules for the 4:30 time slot on Wednesdays. And if that's the case, I think they should definitely be noticed as well. So it's good to mention. Thank you very much for that. I think there is a direct response from Adriana.
I did just want to note, I appreciate the agreement, and I agree with everything you said. You did mention the wrong trans woman, but that's okay. I just wanted to note that because Ashley and I very firmly disagree on this topic.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Oh, and also that's addressed at the MBB counselor, not at you, Liam, just to clarify.
Oh, okay, I see. MBB has a direct response.
Very sorry about that.
It's
Hope
totally
it's
okay. Don't worry
much
about it.
better
I just
in
wanted to
future.
know that.
Okay, then. I'm trying to look at the, no, there's no other direct responses. Mabel, CSSS, I don't think I get to your list.
Yeah, so like I just sort of want to, I have sort of the same opinion as Adriana and Sam from MBB. Like as it stands right now, like personally, I've also cleared my time schedule knowing that like council meetings would be at this time. Like I don't have any other available times like that I can have meetings. And as it stands for the when to meet form that I believe Leonardo sent out, it seems that most people are like the majority do seem to be able to meet like Wednesdays 4:30 right now, besides the other times. So I don't really see, I don't disagree. I disagree for changing the time as it stands right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for noting that. Okay. Well, if it continues to stand this way, we might as well just cement it at Wednesdays, 4:30s. If that's the least harmful choice for everyone. Catherine, you have the next list.
I also just wanted to echo everything that Ashley, Sam, and Maple stated. I'd like to bring up the point that I think that having a flexible schedule works with a smaller team of people, but as council meetings do have anywhere from like 40 to 50 attendees every bi-weekly meeting, it is not really feasible for us to all find one time that works for everyone. And in my opinion, if 4:30 on Wednesdays is the time in the bylaw, and people are clearing their schedules ahead of time to be able to make those meetings, I think that those counselors should have priority to be able to attend those meetings if they were the ones who came prepared and cleared out the schedules instead of having to change it after schedules are set.
That is also a very reasonable argument. Yeah, I can agree with that. Any other lists? Ashley, I think.
Actually, I have a direct response first.
Oh, this is another, my bad. Did not
I
notice
really
it.
apologize, and I don't mean to seem like a broken record. This is our first major meeting of the term. I have utmost patience, but I do just want to add again that Ashley and I are different people, and that you're agreeing with my point and not Ashley's.
Ashley, you have a list.
Yeah, I do. As requested by our admin assistant, I'd like to move to extend the meeting to 9 p.m. This is simply to accommodate the 30-minute Q&A, although I doubt we will take the whole time. We will likely be out of here in 5 minutes, but just one of those Robert's Rules things. We gotta make sure we're playing it by the book. So I will move to extend the meeting to 9.
Okay. Well, if you move, yeah, this might be necessary. I will second. Seeking unanimous consent to extend this meeting ending time to 9 p.m. Yeah, there's just about no dissent here. All right, then this passes. We've extended to 9 p.m. Is there another list? No, I believe Ashley was the last one. Adriana, you have a next list.
I know we just extended to 9, but we have not yet started the 30-minute Q&A.
Right.
So we should probably extend a little bit past 9.
Oh, I don't think so. I highly doubt we're going to make it throughout the entire 30 minutes Q&A. I don't believe people
Fair
are
enough.
very interested in Q&A right now at the moment.
Totally fair.
I have a very deep sixth sense feeling. 5 minutes, man. I completely agree with Ashley there. I'm going to see if our discussion is just about over with this changing the committee. So as it stands right now, a strong opinion from the rest of the council is to be just keep it at Wednesday, 4:30, and for very good reasons as well. Many people have allocated their space ahead of time just to suit out the 4:30 p.m. schedule. And I think it is convenient for a very large body of people at the moment as well. And I really just want to satisfy as many councillors here as possible. I'd say this might be just the choice to, this might just be the choice to go with. And if that's going to be the case, then future steps would just be to not change this time. We ain't touching it. Let that be a small piece of assurance to some of you councillors here. Is there any further discussion on this? Any other lists? Because if there isn't, we'd be moving to Q&A now. All right, then. We'd be okay then. We still record for Q&A, do we? Okay, just making sure. All right then. But I'm going to stop sharing. There's little to no need for that now, and I don't even think we need to list at this point anymore. Completely informal Q&A. Adriana?
I just wanted to note for any counselors, without specifically addressing the sort of substance of what I'm talking about, just as a note, I'm pretty sure that everyone knows this, but just in case you were not sure and didn't want to ask, so you weren't sure if it seemed like an obvious question, I just want to answer for you. We cannot talk about, and no questions can be asked about any in-camera items during the Q&A period. Again, I'm sure that's plenty obvious and redundant, but I just wanted to state it for anyone who wasn't sure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no one's interested in asking or answering anything. I got mainly one question for the rest of the council. At the start of the year, I've been informed that it would have been a really good idea to have one council meeting with a minimum amount of items, and basically we just spend the entire council meeting discussing various issues that each councillor would like to bring up relative to their student societies. And basically the entire reason for this is because I have a deep fear SFSS might not be taking care of issues that should be seen but just aren't seen by the exec team. And despite the fact that it's 8:30, I still think it might be worth our time just for any councillors in here to bring up any potential issues that they feel like isn't really being seen at all whatsoever by SFSS, because I know that there are quite a few. Adrian, direct response.
Yeah, I actually have, I would say, 3 big thoughts on this. First of all, I think that's a great idea. I mean, just flatly, I think that's a fantastic plan. Second, I will also address the difficulty of that, as because the end of last term had such immense problems of reaching quorum and like indecision, we do have like a massive backlog of motions. So I also totally understand and respect that that is an incredibly difficult proposition. While I do commend it, and I think it is worth it, I understand that it will probably be very difficult to get going, and commend any efforts to do so. Appreciate your presidency in this time. One specific issue that I will bring up that definitely pertains especially to the constituency groups, but I think it is important for the DSUs to consider and sort of broader is, again, divorced from any other context that this has been discussed in. One thing that is publicly available knowledge is that SFU is significantly cutting budget and departments of student services. And the sort of implication that SFU has communicated is that the SFSS is kind of just expected to pick up the slack. Otherwise, students are just kind of losing those student services. I don't know how we would go about that. I don't know the best way we can go about that. But I think we need to start thinking both on the side of the constituency groups and on the side of committees in conjunction and working together. How can we serve this massive increase in student needs that is going to come our way, especially as certain events might occur over a span of nebulous, unspecified time?
That is a possible concern. I do agree with that. Any other lists? Questions whatsoever? Oh, Adriana, round two.
Well, if nobody has any particular thoughts, I can also just keep talking. Yeah, I guess I was just going to say it's a difficult proposition, especially because I know financially we're not really in the position to be like hiring any new staff or anything like that. Like any sort of like sweeping improvements are not really fiscally feasible at the moment. I would say, especially as we're going into this tough time, it might be worth revisiting our budget and making like hard sacrifices in terms of funding more student service because of the circumstances that have been dealt to us by the university. I think some of the budget that is going towards more like fun and student engagement centric projects, which I think are commendable and very important. Well, I still think they should go forwards. I think they might need to be a little shortchanged in face of circumstances that are being forced down our throat by the university. The other big thing is I think we need a more deep outreach program. Again, prevailing circumstances might cause this to cease, but something I've been working on at the CGs is an outreach program to go into classrooms at SFU and tutorials and present about student services at the SFSS. So the main focus on CGs, because that's what my own background is in, but if we have more concrete and robust student services, both within the CGs and sort of in conjunction and in cohesion with the CGs, then that could be included within that, because that is something that I've been working on engaging. I'm receiving funding from students. Well, I was receiving funding from student services. I have not heard back since the cuts, so we will see. But so there is a potential of funding that was once promised to me by the university. And I've got speakers lined up. I've got documents starting to be writing about what I'm doing. I've been talking to faculties, slowly communicating with like welcome day engagement committees on the university, and really honing like the student engagement side of things and preparing that project. This is a mainly equity and constituency focused effort, but if there is significant interest from a couple of the DSUs to figure out how to facilitate that, I would super welcome that. But I think if in conjunction with that, we're able to really ramp up student services, I think we can really like enter a time of like unity and supporting the students that, be it in the previous government or even the government before that, we have not been able to, and sort of like move past the party politics and the way that we sort of allocate these things and focus very hard on doubling down and providing as much student service as we can, like effort and capacity wise, as well as financially, support at all. And I think that like having that as a sort of core focus of the SFSS as we're heading into this like very difficult and tenuous time, I think will really carry us very far. And if people are interested to hear some of the ideas of specific student services, both within the equity sector and outside of the equity sector, that I think could be really useful, I would be happy to work on that. I also think like an informal working group, including lots of the execs and lots of non-executive counselors of sort of like a committee, but looser and not as formal, I think could be really valuable, possibly including staff in on that. Those are just some basic ideas, but I really want to open it up to council because I think this is a very broad and very necessary question that goes beyond what I am capable of offering and providing, and will really requires a like kaleidoscope approach from every positionality present within here on council.
I agree with your statement for the most part. I do think student services should be the core focus provided, at least one of the funding parties. But the main issue I have with SFSS at the moment is that nobody cares or knows about the SFSS whatsoever from an outsider student perspective. And even though student services would be our end game, absolutely. As far as maintaining and thriving the SFSS goes, we kind of need help on the publicity front, quite a bit. I'm speaking from an outsider's perspective. Before I even ran for any sort of executive position in the SFSS, I'm only speaking from engineering student perspectives. We basically, Tony's more than welcome to disagree with me here, but we mainly saw the SFSS as some sort of giant piggy bank that we can apply for grants and they give us cash and they pay for things that we want, and then we don't talk to them and they don't talk to us. And if that's going to be the popular attitude for SFSS, then regardless of whatever student services they can maintain for student bodies at the moment, I don't think this is a sustainable student union. I really think this whole thing will go to pieces. I really think that a huge handicap problem for SFSS is the way that it's being seen by the very demographic it's supposed to represent. See you, Ava. You have a good night. And I think that is one of the principal issues we should focus on, even though it's not directly student service related. However, I do respect your opinion. I do concede with it in some parts. MBB, you got next list. Sorry to keep you waiting.
All good. Just want to preface my list by saying between my day job and this, I'm getting close to nearly 12 hours. So that is the context I'm approaching this in. But I definitely agree. We should have more discussion on department and faculty specific interests. I look forward to seeing a greater use of the consent agenda to hopefully streamline meetings with more things passed without us having to discuss. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and by the 12 hours thing. Okay, if it's honestly taxing to you to the point where, well, it's 12 hours in a day, that's not optimal. That's not ideal for either of us. You can feel free to skip out on the meeting if it's completely necessary for your schedule. I mean, we completely understand. Folks, counselors do it all the time. And we appreciate the amount of time that you're already dedicating to these council meetings anyway. Like, that's already appreciated by default.
I believe I had a director's contact.
Put yourself first. Oh, I'm sorry, Adriana, go for it.
Yeah. I definitely have a couple like very minor thoughts. I will say like around the 12 hours, I think that's commendable and I think that's really noble. And I think that an unfortunate reality of this work in a lot of ways is that shouldn't be necessary. And the fact that it is a great sadness in the work that we do. But I really appreciate that from you, Sam. And I think that like in an ideal world, it would be good for us not to have to pull those kind of hours, but I appreciate the commitment in being here and doing that. And I think that's really worthy of commendation. To be transparent, I'm on 11, so I feel you. My one note that I was going to say unrelated to this, and this is more of a question to Liam, Jad, and Abby. Just more sort of generally, how publicly available knowledge is our general financial state, i.e. can I bring it up in a meeting? And if the answer is no, I will respect that, no questions asked. But I am generally aware of our financial state, and I do not know that that is known amongst council. And I'd want to know if that would be something that we'd have to look at in like an in-camera motion, or if that's something I can discuss my knowledge of it here. So that's a question to the three of you. Just let me know.
Could you clarify what you are wanting to discuss? Just so I can make sure.
Yeah, for sure. Specifically talking about like our ability to cover healthcare and our rough estimate of how many years away we are from bankruptcy.
I think these are very important things to discuss with councilors.
Yes, Adriana, I can touch upon that a little bit. So in regards to healthcare, we do have a separate bank account for healthcare for our finances. I will tell you right now, it is not good. That should say most of what I really want to preface, but yes, we can meet one-on-one. You can come to my office or just shoot me a message on Discord, and we can talk about our finances. But the number I will show you in our account when it comes to healthcare, it looks good at first, but keep in mind it is likely to be almost entirely depleted by the end of the term. Not this term, but the end of our council term.
Yeah.
But by all means, we can always sit down together, you and I, and we can go over it together.
For sure. I think that just like that little bit of clarification, I do actually want to sit down and I really want to like go over it and discuss like possible like solutions and compromise and things. I think that'll be a great discussion for you and I to have, and I'm super open and down for that. But I think that gives me enough context just to know that we're on the same page enough to like make the broader point that I want to council, which is that we are in an extremely dire sinking ship, and we need to seismically change how we are perceived by the student body. And it looks like outreach, student service, and the seismic event that I cannot mention, but that you all know that I'm talking about, that is going to be the next year. We need to do that, because if we do not have that like show of strength and solidarity and show the students that we are an efficient, powerful body that can be for them and fight for them, we won't be able to raise student fees and we will go bankrupt. And we must significantly raise student fees to survive.
All right. Thank you. I don't think we got to Hillary's list. Thank you for waiting, Hillary.
Yeah, no problem. I just kind of wanted to share a little trouble, I guess, I've been recently experiencing. And I don't know if, like, we have the power to change it, but I am pretty positive that I am not the only one in this situation. So I thought I'd just share. Yeah, so I, like many other students, don't take summer classes. Correction, this is the first time I've never taken summer classes before. So I actually, of course, had to pay my student fees to, become a member of the SFSS and, be a counselor, which I'm fine about, right? But I don't have my UPass.
Oh.
And yeah, and I checked and I said, even if I pay my SFSS membership fee, I can't get my UPass because I need to take at least 3 credits to get a UPass, which I think is kind of stupid. Because like I'm paying my membership fees, and especially as a counselor, as a DSU executive, I had to go to campus. I have to go across the Lower Mainland all the time to, help run events from my DSU. And then I have to pay out of pocket for this. It's kind of infuriating. And like, if not getting a UPass, at least me, but being, reimbursed, I think, for like the fact that I have to spend maybe like $385 to like go up the campus and then $385 to come back down the campus. It's kind of gross. Yeah, and okay, so like let's do the math. My DSU, we meet in person generally. That is, so I live in Burnaby, so like it's like what, $250, so like $5 a day. And I often have, 1 or 2 events on campus or off campus a month. So that's like what, minimum $15 a month that I have to spend just for like, being a counselor, being on my DSU. And I think we should, like if not
just for the counselors who, are paying out of pocket, at least like something. And like, I'm sure the other students who are like me, who, may have a part-time job or whatever that rely on public transit to get around or work on campus, but they aren't taking any classes, they have to pay out of pocket. And it's like really, really terrible. I actually went a little bit crazy yesterday and I got really, really pissed about that because it's like, it's a balance between, wanting to help your DSU, but also not wanting to spend copious amounts of money, right? And it's a little, what's that word? Like some students don't have like, the financial privilege of being able to spend, so much money to get a one zone monthly pass or something, because UPass is $45 a month. That's like really affordable as opposed to like the and that's for 3 zones. Like a 3 zone monthly pass is like well into like the $200 zone, right? So it's really unaffordable for a lot of students, and we had to think about them too. Anyway, I could complain about this forever, so I'll just stop here. But yeah, just want to bring it up and then see if we can do anything about that.
Well, thank you so much for bringing up. This is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We had no idea about this issue. Well, we had some idea, but we had no idea that it was to this degree. This is the exact kind of stuff I want to listen to. Thank you very much for that. Jack, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're a VP Finance, but I do recall every single counselor inside SFSS would have a $100 transit fee line item dedicated to them, that they can take money out of that as long as they're reimbursing things that are transit related. Is that right?
I can't confirm that as of now. However, I'll have to double check and fill you in on that.
In a nutshell, as it stands, there are various SFSS services that you can use to reimburse yourselves. In my opinion, they're not as clear as they could be, and that is an issue.
Yeah, I actually never heard of any of these things before, and I've been, a DSU exec for 3 years now. But like, here's the thing: even if if counselors get a bit of leeway with this, most of the student population are not counselors. They probably, so if is this only for counselors or is it for everyone? Jad, you might also be able to answer this.
I cannot confirm if it's counselors or everyone.
Okay, yeah, because I think like if we do make some change for summer, then I think it should be for everyone because that's the most fair. And also SFU pretty much encourages summer people to not take summer classes. So they're also encouraging us to get screwed over by Compass card payments, especially because every year they raise the price. Because I don't know about other what's that word called? Other departments, but at least for my department, psychology, we literally only have 4 upper division classes offered in summer, and I'm hardly exaggerating. The number of classes offered is abysmal, which forces a lot of psychology students to not be able to take classes in their major. So they just work, and you can't exactly work if your wages are being eaten up by transiting all the time. So yeah, I think there has to be some change in that somehow.
What do you think about proposing a deal with SFU to include a UPass inside the SFSS student fees you pay?
Oh, that would be amazing. But I think
something is practical.
That is practical because but here's the thing though. I don't think a lot of people will actually know about this unless you super spread the word, right? And yeah, but I think that's a good start. Because I think this is something that will directly affect and benefit students, especially low income students who probably can't, yeah. And plus, I have been kind of stuck inside my house for the past month because I don't have a UPass and I don't want to drive a lot because it's bad for the environment, and also I can't park. And I've been going stir crazy. And it's not good for your mental health to not be able to, go anywhere outside, especially for people who live in very very high a lot of buildings. I'm kind of lucky. I live right next to a forest, so I can go on the trail and risk getting attacked by a bear if I want. But like not a lot of people have this opportunity, right? So like it's even worse for them if they go as just cars and just no nature, and they just take a bus somewhere, and like just to like get like better mental health, because like obviously being in nature helps uplift mental health, but you can't exactly do that when you're stuck inside because you can't get a bus to get to the forest to help you better your mental health. Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
85% of everything. That's right. Thank you kindly for that. OC, 2 stars.
Oh yeah, I have a direct response. Mine is not that complex. Mine was just gonna be, I'm super in favor of this, Hillary. I absolutely agree on every front. My one like cautioning statement was gonna be, we talked about like solving it on our side and talked about an easy and practical solution with the university. I am in favor of going forward with asking the university. I don't think we should spend too much hope or time on it because we're entering into a stage of very negative and fraught relations with the university for reasons. And so I think while this is a solution that should absolutely be solved, we should not count on the university to be remotely cooperative with helping us on this.
Well, there will always be something going on with SFSS and SFU. I have a small feeling that we don't like each other from the get-go.
SFU tried to bust us as a union a year ago. Like that was the last time they tried to break up the SFSS. So yeah, they really don't like us. We started as like I can't remember if it was fully civil or like light rioting, but our origin is as like a chaotic and not explicitly civil protest against the university on campus ground.
Right.
We are like,
my point was basically I had a deep fear of not knowing what real issues are. And now we have one voice that's officially said what one real issue is. I'm glad I got to hear it in the first place. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Thank you kindly. Oh boy. Okay. I think we just about reached our capacity, which would be 9 p.m. We can't go further than that. So with that being said, I think we can move straight to adjournment now. While we still have the bare main skeleton of a quorum to do so, I move. Would anyone care to second?
I will second.
Someone second. Thank you so much. You second. Whereas we like meetings to end, be resolved to adjourn the meeting at 8:56 p.m. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please don't. Motion passes unanimously. I must stop the recording right now.